Hello, Internet. Whorehouse is here once again. Dave is not here. But really, the important guys are already here. Take that, Dave. Dave may be with us eventually, but as you can see, he's hanging out with Mothman today, and seems to be enjoying himself. There's a lot of questions that this picture brings up, but I mean, that's okay. That's okay. Um, but he seems to be enjoying himself with the Mothman. Dave update.
Nice.
So he may be on here in a few minutes. We'll see how his internet holds up. But in the meantime, let's tell you guys what we are doing today. We're talking about the a little list from 2022
Yep.
Rolling Stone, the 101 best horror movies of all time. We're gonna go through this list and see uh, what we what our thoughts are on some of the movies and what we would change. And until Dave gets here, this is what we're dealing with. My boxes are all fucked up. That's not a you problem. That's a Dave. When he gets here, it'll look more. We'll get back to kind of the normality of it all. But for now, things are a little bit janky. But that's all right. But until then, Chris, Jeff, Dave. Oh God, I fucked it up. Get rid of the names. If you want to follow us, there are all the things. Unless you're a stooge at Universal Pictures, and then maybe we don't want you to follow us. Honestly, you can fuck off. sending out sending out these copyright strikes to nobodies. What's wrong with you? We didn't do anything. Talking about your goddamn movie. I should go on a. If I was more drunk, if I was drunk at all, it'd be rant time, Jeff.
Like, two of us really enjoyed the movie, so I mean,
Uh, but we still talk. We talked about it for an hour and a half. Well, probably not quite that,
right?
but so even my very low score should mean something to them. But they only care. They only care about the trailer. The pennies, at best, they would have got from the views that people saw their trailer on our page.
Right?
Probably not even pennies, if we're being honest. Also, Jeff, while we're at it, while it's half rant time, YouTube fucks on us a lot and deletes views from our videos. Hand to God.
What was that?
So the last few, like I'll schedule them or whatever, and then when they pop up, I watch them on my personal YouTube, make sure that everything's cool, and then that gives a couple views. Watching the thing. Sometimes I'll watch the whole episode because we're awesome and entertaining and funny. And I
You
mean,
can't remember what happened.
and then the next day the view count will be back to zero. And that's happened like 3 or 4 times. It'll be like, I don't know what's going on. And I don't care for it. I don't care for it. YouTube is owned by Universal, probably, and not Google, is what I'm currently thinking. Jeff, but what have you watched this week? What you think cool?
Oh, I watched a few. I tried to go off the list a little bit and watched a couple of them. Watched a little bit of the Ganja and Hess.
Oh, you went hard. It wasn't
Yeah. No.
fair. Dave told us. that we should think of movies in the last few years that aren't on the list because it came out October 28th, 2022. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if there's anything in the last couple of years that really strike me as a top 100.
I feel like there are, I don't know if a lot of them that come out that wouldn't be the top, but they would still be some of 'em better than what they picked.
Yeah, but like I don't even know if I could pick one that I would be like that needs to go on a list. Um, Dave will get on here and have like five,
Right.
maybe.
I thought Smile was pretty good.
I liked Smile until the end when the kind of creature is revealed.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't like the design of that, but the rest of the movie I thought was okay. I didn't. What'd you think of Malignant? Did you watch Malignant?
No.
I didn't like that, and the internet seemed to be crazy for that one. I think Dave liked Malignant too, so he's crazy. Mike Flanagan's Bly Manor. I'd put that at 101 just to stir the pot.
For, TV shows or, um,
Oh, I guess that wouldn't be a movie, would it? Shit.
you could just make it movies, TV shows, and limited series. There we go, limited series.
Yeah,
'Cause it you could say it's a TV show, but it's more a limited series because it was, like, 1 season, that's pretty much it.
yeah. I think they could fit. Um, but
It's definitely those horror ones. Uh,
while we wait on
Hell House.
Dave, Hell House, what?
Yeah, the Bly Manor and the other one, the
Haunting of Hell House. What is the
yeah.
the newest one? I think there was even one before that. I've not watched because they were on. No, they're still on Netflix, aren't they? I was thinking he switched and I couldn't watch it, but I still can't watch it because I don't have Netflix. Anyways, um, we may have a Dave, but maybe not. We're waiting to see. Usher, House of Usher, and he fucked up my box again, but I didn't drag it, and then he disconnected again. So, uh, the Fall of the House of Usher is the latest one. Have you watched it yet? I've not.
No,
I've
I've
not either.
not. I've
Uh,
seen the Vincent Price movie,
is that
Dollhouse.
is that based on something other than that? Is that a book or something from before?
Yeah, it's Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And there was a Mike Flanagan thing before that. Dave, you're really fucking my boxes up here, brother. I'm really, really strict about my boxes, Dave. I don't know that West Virginia has internet. We'll see. We'll see.
Midnight Mass?
Not Midnight Mass. Midnight Mass was a good one though.
That was good.
There was one like in between. Was it in between that and the latest one that I think was like more of like
Book
teen
Club?
oriented? Yes.
I
And
have not.
I've not watched that either. But I'd be curious. Anybody watching? If you've seen the last two Mike Flanagan projects, let us know because we want to know. We want to know things. Um, but while we wait for Dave, Jeff, there's a couple newsworthy things going on right now. Um, Screamboat is coming out next year. The Steamboat Willie horror movie.
What?
It is. I there is a picture Let me see if I
Have you
can
have you
if I can
seen
put that up
Steamboat
here.
Willie?
Maybe vague clips of it.
Oh
Uh,
man, you gotta watch it. It is crazy. He like takes a cat, like and like makes musical instruments out of different animals. Like the cat, he swings it around in circles. It's very horrific as is.
oh my god. Okay.
Like, oh, it's just like, oh, it's supposed to be his first movie and all that kind of stuff. It's like the stuff that they do in it was just like, oh my god, like why is Disney doing this?
Dave is in the chat. What's up, Dave? Are you able to watch the show? If not, be on the show. We wait with bated breath. But there's that Screamboat Willie. I don't know who's making it. But that is a thing to maybe look forward to for next year. The image is interesting. Is it a CG thing they're going to be trying to do? It's hard telling.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's just hand drawn.
But beyond that, there is not a lot of horror news this week. There is a Aliens versus Avengers comic coming this summer, which not the first time. There's been stuff like that, but here's some of the bloody disgusting article. Could be interesting. We'll see. See that 20th Century Fox Studios up there, way better than Universal. uh, but yeah, interesting. I don't. If the world of comic book fandom on the internet deems it worthy, I'm sure I'll get around to it. I'm pretty easily influenced when a comic is amazing. Um, I think Dave joined us in the chat and then has also now left us in the chat. So I think that the internet, Jeff, in West Virginia can't stand up to the rigors of text chat, let alone video broadcasting. But that's all right. Um, I guess let's get
Oh,
let's get started on this list then, since it's not looking too promising. Um, and let me try to get our cameras to look somewhat normal. They look all right. They look okay. But 101 best horror movies of all time, according to David Fear, A. Dowd, Stephen Garrett. I don't know who these people are, but like 40 people at Rolling Stone have deemed these the best movies of all time, horror movies of all time. But let's get into it. And the first one is one we just talked about 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
yeah.
And this Jeff, this is right up in your wheelhouse. How do you feel about it being rated 101?
I mean, it is a very good Vincent Price movie. I don't think it's one of the scariest ones. I mean, it's comedy and horror. So, I mean, it is definitely a good one. So I'm fine with it being, at the very end.
Just as long as it's on it, you're cool.
As long as it's on there. As long as there's a Vincent Price movie on there somewhere, which
Right.
there's 3 because Dave told me to count how many Vincent Price movies there were on there. So there's 3 movies. So it's not like one of the scariest ones, but it is a very good one.
Okay.
Very good camp movie.
I should, you know what? I should, 1 second, everybody. Image. Uh, OBS, work with me, damn it. Hold on. We're going back to this screen for a second because I need to get the Mothman ass pick so I can put it here for prosperity as we as we talk. This is the weirdest screen we've ever had in the Horror House right now. Let me see if I can zoom out on you a little bit. I'm just
Being
gonna.
faced by Mothman's butt.
As soon as I started dragging boxes, Dave is Dave.
Nice.
I'm a trying.
Well, there's an X split, anyways. Oh my god, it
Yay!
works. Okay, stand by, internet. We're beaming in Dave.
So my volume levels may be all over the place.
You sound fine. Say goodbye to the Mothman ass pick for now. I'm sure we'll see it again later.
Did you put the dime in his butt?
I did not put the dime in his butt.
Did you take the dime out
The
of his butt?
dime, uh, that seemed like that would be sacrilegious.
But
Oh.
your picks
I was
are the best on the internet.
I
It looks
was
like junk on the
so much
internet.
more impressed than I thought I was going to be.
Whoever took pictures of that for publicity is handy capable in their eye abilities because yours are way better.
It was probably the blind guy that was trying to snatch Chris's body from Get Out.
But did you hear the Steamboat Willie news, Dave? That's all we've really covered.
I saw the trailer for the Steamboat
Oh,
Willie.
there's a
I'm
trailer?
not excited for that. Yeah, I'm
Oh.
not excited for that. I'm more excited for the Puniverse. Even having watched the first one, I'm still more excited for that than the Steamboat Willie,
Have you seen the original Steamboat Willie?
the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like clips. I don't know that I've seen the whole thing. I'm sure not.
I think it's very horrific as is. I mean, he takes animals and makes them into musical instruments. Like, takes a cat and swings it around in circles. It's like, oh my god.
Um, so okay, so maybe Mickey Mouse is cooler than I thought. We're not a Mickey Mouse family. Stella
Yeah.
immediately, like first date, she's like, "You're not getting none of this if you like the Mickey Mouse." So I was like, "Fuck, no, no, no."
It may have to do with me because when I was a baby, one of my favorite toys, and I remember this vividly, one of my favorite toys was a rattle, and it was a Mickey Mouse rattle. And so it may be some of my doing. She's like, that fucking rattle. It's like opposite Rosebud in her brain. um, but Dave, we have just. Uh oh. Uh oh. Come on.
Oh,
Oh,
Come on, West
uh,
Virginia.
the Mothman's stopping him.
okay.
You're. We'll just bring the Mothman ass pick back till you get him froze. Oh, there you are.
Uh,
I knew that
this,
wasn't the last
this,
time we'd see that ass before we were done.
it's going to be an interesting night, boys and girls. So,
All right. Well, we've started the list. We're at the very beginning, so you've missed nothing. Um.
Before we reviewed it.
okay.
Here we go. But yeah, how do you feel about Dr. Fibes being 101?
Um, I, I, Vincent Price is well represented. I feel like. Um, so is this his best horror movie? Because House on Haunted Hill didn't make it, and I feel like that had more horror elements. Although I really like Fibes and Fibes Rises Again for the variety kills. So I, I'm I'm happy that he's on here. Maybe he could actually be a little higher for me. Probably. We'll talk about that.
All right, well, let's move on to 101 Ganja and Hess, which, Jeff, thoughts? Did you
Yeah,
watch the whole thing or just some of it?
I watched most of it. It was not great.
Is it as
I mean,
bad as the blood color? The crayon blood?
oh, it was worse than that.
Did you
I mean,
watch it
it's nice that they
before?
put it on, like, the black cinema on there, but it wasn't great at all. It was hard to get into. The
So you
sound
heard it.
quality was really
Jeff
bad.
called this a
Oh,
DEI inclusion.
I've not watched it. I didn't even try to watch it. We watched the entire Fallout series this week, so I didn't watch any horror. But let me tell you, there is some gore to be had in Fallout, and
Oh, yeah.
it is
Just play
It
the
it
rad.
game.
it is good. I can't remember if we're 3 or 4 episodes in,
Oh my
but,
god.
can't binge watch it because 'cause we're watching it with Jackie, and teenage daughters can only stand you 1 episode of a show at a time. So,
Word. Word.
we'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. But
So
it is good. It is so good.
I
Walter
loved it.
Gogin's character is so good.
Number 99, Kronos from Guillermo del Toro. I don't know if this is his first movie or it's one of his first movies, and I
Yeah.
loved it. It's been several years since I watched it, but this was absolutely deserves. I feel like to be a little bit higher, maybe. I'd put it in the 70s as being promiscuous. I don't think
Was
that's the right word.
were there was this the only, or were there 2, um, Del Toros in on the list?
I don't
I think
know.
he was the only one.
Is
Didn't
this the only one?
he? I'm not gonna
I'm
look it up. Doesn't he have one that's like about an orphanage or something? It may be called The Orphanage, but like in Spanish.
I don't
Your Fernando. Uh, but it's not on the list, is it?
I don't
No,
think.
The Orphanage is not on the list.
Okay.
I have no idea if that's Guillermo del Toro either.
Uh,
The Orphanage is good, though. It should have been on the list.
Number 98,
That's the one.
Blood and Black Lace. Never heard of this. Mario Bava, I have heard of. I've never got into Italian horror, so this is beyond my.
I've not watched it. It is on Shudder. There are several of these olders are on Shudder, but I did not watch it.
I tried to watch it. It seemed about pointless. I didn't get through
Well,
all of
that
it, but
get
most of it was
get
just
the fuck out
about
of here.
someone had found the diary and they stuck it in their purse. They didn't want anybody else to see that diary, so they gave it to the police. But then they walked over and just sat it down and went out to the runway. It's like, what the hell? Everyone's like, look, keeps going back to people looking at the purse and everything like that. It's like, oh my god, just why?
Is this a whodunit murder? A whodunit slasher?
Next up, 97, from 1976, George Romero, Martin. I've not watched this movie in 20 years at least. But John Amplis, I want to say his name was. He had like bit parts in the Dead trilogy, and he had some. I think he was like a cop or something at the beginning of Dawn of the Dead, and then he was one of the scientists in the bunker in Day of the Dead that gets kind of killed off pretty quick. But here he's a vampire, and that's kind of all I remember. Has either of you seen Martin?
I have seen
I
it.
have not, but I am familiar with it.
I cannot remember what it was like, but I watched
Yes.
it.
I think
So
in the kid messed up. You don't know if he's really a vampire or he's just kind of fucked up
maybe.
I
But
don't
there's
think it was
with a
that
name like
good to remember. So I don't know why it's on the list,
he looks
but
moody as shit. He looks edgy, so I think 97 is good
yeah.
for that. We ooh, number 96, The Blob with one
Oh
Mr.
yeah, Steve
McQueen.
McQueen.
I could pull my Blu-ray down and be all cool, but I'm feeling kind of lazy, so I shan't. If you were here last week, I was talking about my Blob Epic I'm trying to sell to Freevee, the 37-year, 12-second long, 24 episode season Blob mega thing. And that's because this one is so good. The It's probably not on the list, I don't know, but the 89 remake I prefer, but this one is I love.
I've not seen the '80s version of it. Does it end the same?
No, kind of,
No?
but in a '80s kind of a way, kind of.
Does it end with a giant question mark at the end?
No question mark, but they kind of dispose of it in a similar kind of fashion. But maybe the best horror theme song, "Beware of the Blob."
Is it? I don't know. It's Spaceballs had a pretty good one.
And here we have 95, The Black Cat. Dave, I am not legally allowed to talk about Universal stuff anymore. So fuck The Black Cat and fuck Universal.
I
That
do not know this movie, so
this
it is,
was with Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff for the first time, and that's all I know about it. Which had to be a big deal then because out of the 10 actors they had back in that time, to see them together on the same screen was like seeing the Avengers together for the first time. Which
it is Satanists and the intrigue that goes with that. So
okay,
uh, I've never watched it, but some people think it is. Some people think it's very good.
I mean, it
I
is
don't know who
Edgar
those
Allan
people are.
Poe, so I mean,
oh,
I
like I
think
feel
this
like
is the fourth or fifth one that they had made that were Edgar Allan Poe stories that they turned into movies. The Raven and some of those. So
and number 94, we've got The Descent from 2005. I've got thoughts on this one. I've watched this one several times. First half is
I
scarier than the second half, is my review.
we're
and
gonna have to do this sometime on the
yeah,
show. Just do a whole show on the Descent. It is so good. It is so good. If anyone out there, if you're thinking about having kids, do it. And then when they are about 10 years old, make them watch this and then take them to the caves. Great. Great. I recommend it.
I'm never going under the earth after this. It's never going to happen. Dirt above me? Nah. We do have a storm shelter. I do get in that. That's a different story. That's safe underground. But the Descent,
Sure it is, Chris. Till your
the
mom loses her mind. Because where do you fall on the conspiracy theory that there are no monsters under the ground? It's just the chick has lost her mind because she lost her husband and child that she's killing all her friends.
yeah, the cave part's scarier than that to me. 93, Trouble Every Day from 2001. I don't know what this is, honestly.
kind of like a vampire movie.
The way you say
I
that
I
is
watched it this weekend, and it's not like the best because I feel like they don't really like fill you in on what's really going on.
is it a
They
artsy
just
house
is
movie
very
kind of?
artsy. Yeah,
Uh,
it's a combination of like French and English. Like the couple who show up are English and or American, I guess, and everyone else is speaking, their language. So it's just, and he's just the guy comes over with his wife. They just got married, and he's trying to find a doctor to talk to him about something his company like created, and he's afflicted with it, and then someone else is afflicted with it, and they're kind of like it says in the description cannibals, but they only seem to be drinking blood. So I feel like it's more of a vampire than
oh,
a cannibalistic thing. So it's very like, what?
I remember
Sounds
that
a lot
quest
like
from Fallout
Bly
3.
Manor. It's gonna be a love story at the end of it, and I'll be disappointed like Bly Manor.
Oh no,
So
it's definitely not a love story. Yeah, at the end, it just gets very confusing because like the doctor who I don't know if he created it or if he did studies on it, and yeah, it was just, and his wife has this disease or something, and she keeps luring men to like help her. and then she like bites into them. They don't ever see her like eat flesh. They just kind of bite into them and drink blood. So I don't feel more vampiristic than it's cannibalistic. But it is very weird. Doesn't really tell you a lot what's going on. You're like, what's going on now?
And artsy.
Not great. Not
Would it
bad.
make your 101 list?
No, definitely not.
But what did make somebody's is that 92, Friday the 13th, the initial launch of this franchise that has kept going and going for forever. But this one had Kevin Bacon. So, does your slasher have Kevin Bacon? Getting the arrow through the what is that called? What is that thing, Dave? What would you medically call that?
Uh, uh, throat,
Throat.
neck,
Right through the neck throat. um, this isn't
full
my
throated. I think they call that full throated.
full throated. I've only seen part 4 of that personally. Um, but I like most of the Friday movies. This one is fine. It is not my favorite. I would have put. I think two's better than this one. Honestly, I think it's a better slasher flick.
Well, it's when you can get Jason at least.
Yeah, not hockey, but burlap sack Jason is
Yeah.
a force of nature and it's scary. Uh,
You know who put this movie on the list though instead of the second one? I bet it was heavy lobbying by Ari Lyman.
was his name on
He
the
was,
contributors for this?
no, he went under a pseudonym and paid everybody off.
Oh, well, Ari
This is the
also.
edited list. His list had Friday the 13th as number one all time.
Somebody tried to put the remake on. He's like, kill them, kill them. 91 Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I've seen parts of it. I fell asleep during it, and my wife watched the whole thing at the time. And I remember waking up, and she's like, "You make me watch some weird shit," and I'm like, "So that's really my only basis for Henry." But you've seen it, right, Jeff? Didn't you say you've seen it?
Yes, I have. It's good.
I need to go back and check it out fully.
It is really good.
I remember renting it back in the day, but I couldn't tell you shit that happened.
Is it 101 good though? Would you say?
Mm, Probably not 91 good, but at least maybe like 100.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I think it would be in the top 101, but I don't think it's not that great. There's other movies that I think are a lot better.
Speaking of one of them right now, 1990, 1989. Jesus, the number 90. There's so many numbers. Pet Cemetery, the OG Pet Cemetery adaptation,
So
and
good.
I, God, his accent as and for that character in this cannot be topped. When they, did,
Sometimes dead is better.
yeah, but he's absolutely my favorite part of the movie. But the remake
Right.
has John Lithgow in that part, and he just talks like John Lithgow. I'm like, this is the biggest I've ever been disappointed in something. It
For
just
That
John
is the biggest
Lithgow, you think you do a
compliment.
voice or something.
yeah, he just it's the most boring John Lithgow you could ever want for that for Creed, and it just ain't it. But that, oh my lord,
You should look up Mad TV's Davy and Goliath. It's like a David and Goliath parody,
I think I've seen
but
it.
it's like Pet Cemetery. So it's like Goliath dies. If anybody knows the David and Goliath stop motion thing,
Oh,
it's
maybe I've
like
not seen
Goliath gets run over by a car, and then you have the old guy show up, and he's like, "Well, don't bury him in the pet cemetery," and then he shows him how to bury him in the pet cemetery. It's like, what the hell? You just told him not to do it,
Don't dig in this specific spot.
right?
Whatever you
It
do.
is it's very funny. It just basically gives you the whole rundown of Pet Cemetery. Really, it is hilarious though.
But Dave, you don't like this one that much, right? Because I feel like we've argued about this movie before.
No, I do like it. This movie fucked me up.
Oh,
Um,
my wife will not
the
watch it. She hates this movie. It's too much for her. The biker kid. She's like, he haunts my dreams after I see him. I'm like, that sucks because that's one of my favorites. So I don't know what to tell you. But continue, continue.
Ra- The Ramones did
yeah,
2 good songs, so
Yes, I love.
the kids dying when Gage dies is too much. Even though it don't show shit, it's worse because it doesn't know show shit.
right?
I
Uh,
would put Pet
but
Cemetery higher personally, like a little, maybe 70s again, maybe 60s. I don't know. But let's continue on. 89 from 1954, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Lagoon. I got it. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm just giving Universal shit now.
They had the
lay
best
off
horror
the
movies,
Universal,
though.
especially my Gill man.
They copyright striked
Oh,
us, Dave. They copyright striked us. You weren't here for the conversation.
oh, I missed that. I missed
Yeah,
that.
they copyright striked us for our Last Night in Soho trailer usage because they're punks.
Well, you
They're
motherfuckers,
they're punks.
motherfuckers.
So, Creature
You
from the
gotta get.
Black
We
Lagoon.
gotta get. Yeah, we gotta get that text at the start. Like, this is for educational purposes and does not violate any. But shit. I don't
Yeah.
know if that really works, but
Uh,
Creature is good though. Creature from the Black Lagoon is good.
there's
It
some cool
is.
underwater shots in this.
Yeah,
Another one I
where
think I
she's
would be a
swimming
little
and the
higher.
thing is just right under her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a design for the creature too. Isn't it weird though how you have the universal monsters that were from like the 30s and somehow the creature is associated with them even though he was 20 something years after the fact? That's like putting
Yes.
Jigsaw with Baghead Jason. It's so
Uh, but what are you gonna do? Put Phantom of the Opera with up against Dracula and Frankenstein? No, you're gonna put Gilman. He's a star.
that's true.
So
That's true. Uh
the Hunchback. Come on, get out of here.
London After Midnight's scary. I wish there was the whole footage of that. That'd be a I, that's face scary. Speaking of scary, and speaking of a throwback to a period piece, we've got number 88 from 2009, House of the Devil. Ty West
High West.
pretending he's in
Yes.
the past again. He is the biggest nostalgia guy, maybe of all time. He loves the past. And he typically nails it aesthetically, anyways. This is. Have you guys seen House of the Devil?
Out.
Yep.
I watched this weekend.
Yep.
Thoughts, feelings? Big slow
Yeah,
burn.
good.
Yeah, a little bit. But what the fuck when the friend gets shot in the cemetery? If that doesn't fucking come out of left field, man. Shoo.
And I mean, if this was the satanic panic that we've talked about more than a couple times, and it's yeah, I feel like 88's a
Yep.
good spot for
Yep.
for
This is
House of the
a
Devil.
this is what happens, kids, when you play the D&D. Just ask my
Yes.
uncle. You get murdered in a house by Satanists, or you become the Satanist. I don't know. I get confused.
1974, Black Christmas. I've not seen this one. I vaguely know about it.
I've seen it. It's good.
Mhm.
Very good.
Does it belong at
It's
87?
I would say so. I would say so. It's very much a girl power movie, even though they're
Yeah.
getting fucking hate when every time he calls, he's just so vicious. He keeps calling the house and saying all this misogynistic shit to him, like, bitch, make me a sandwich. Um, stuff, iron my shirt, stuff like that. And so but it is good. But they spoiler alert for 1974 or for what was it 2019 the remake?
Yeah.
But either way, spoiler alert. The girls fight back.
That
The
seems.
remake,
Go ahead.
the remake has a twist that the OG does not. That just really
Oh,
is fucking out there. So
I'll have to watch it. Original is good though.
Next
Mhm.
up,
I agree.
86, 2019's Saint Maud.
This
This,
one
Sounds
is
good.
such a slow burn that I've started it like 2 or 3 times and
oh,
and
really?
yeah, yeah. But I hear it's great. I need to part of it is I'm a old fucker, so I lay in bed, I start the movie, and I fall asleep. So,
Amen. Amen.
yeah, it could be fucking Avengers Endgame, and I'll be like, "Oh."
Okay, I'm going to speed us up along a little bit. Uh, 85, 1941's The Wolf Man. I am surprised it's this low or this high. Low? High? Low? High? High? Low? Where is the what's the connotation? It should be a lower number. There we go. In my
Yeah, I think
opinion.
and that makes it higher on the list because I think 1 is the pinnacle of
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah.
So,
I would definitely put Wolfman. God damn, maybe in the 30s. I'd go maybe that high.
it is good, it is good. It's he's so, what is his name? Talbot? Calvin?
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
like that, yeah. He's so sympathetic, so I approve moving it up. I don't know 30s. I don't know 30s.
It may be a little bit extreme. Shoot,
I'll
shoot.
go, I'll go 50s though.
Okay, okay. I'll settle on a 50. Us from 2019, number
Us?
So good.
84.
Us?
Us.
The 3 of us?
No, the four of us. I've got Sting.
Oh.
I'm
Oh.
I wore it on purpose.
It's been higher than the 80s. Lower.
I didn't like this movie at first, and then we did an episode on it, and that turned me around more. But
I love it. I love it. This
It
is
was
my
very
favorite
good.
Jordan Peele, and I love everything Jordan Peele. So,
next up at 83, The Strangers.
That was good.
I have watched like half of this, based off internet hype, and for some reason didn't finish it. It's like one of those, like Dave said, we're so old, like we'll fall asleep watching a movie, and like, do you, Dave? Do you do that where you fall asleep watching a movie and you'll like take micro naps and you like miss key segments, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? And but then you go like right back to sleep, and then you wake up again later, and you're like, did it switch to a different? You're back to sleep, and then you come back, and then it's like, because I was getting that with the Strangers. I did that with the Chernobyl series. That was really fucked up. Uh,
I
I may
That
told
was
you I
have.
did that
very
when we watched The Void. When we watched The Void, I fell asleep and woke up, and I was like, "What the fuck did I miss?" Rewound it like 10 minutes. Fell
Oh god.
Any pros?
Oh god. He put his computer to sleep with that one. What a pause. Well,
Strangers is so creepy because it's so like, there's no motivation, there's
because you were
no
here.
explanation.
Yeah.
It's just yeah. Yeah, that makes it worse.
Yeah. Number 82 from 2000. Final Destination Uno. I love this. Jeff, you said you saw the first one,
Yeah, I've seen the first
but
one.
not the myriad of sequels.
No.
This one, I mean, I'm cool
The
with this being 82. I feel like this
I think
works.
it's an appropriate spot. I think that you could just put for franchises, maybe they should the whole franchise should just be in one line somewhere, like the
Right.
Final
Yeah.
Destination line here,
That makes sense.
because you can I don't know that it's possible to watch Final Destination 2 and not change your highway driving habits.
Dude, see trees on a truck, I'm like, I'm changing lanes. That'll make sense when we get you to watch it, Jeff. Just trust. But when you see
I think I
trees,
got an image of what it is
I,
based on that.
number 81 from 1976, God Told Me To. It sounds like a TV movie.
It probably is. It wasn't great. I don't see why it's number 81. It it has a good element for a story, but I don't think that they executed it well at all.
Uh,
every time this detective goes out and tries to stop someone from committing a crime, maybe they already committed it, kind of like uh, Abominable Doctor vibes, or like they're and God told me to instead the devil made me do it. God told me to. Like,
Oh,
oh, okay. It could have been better. It has the old woman from Beetlejuice, their caseworker. I don't
oh,
know her
right.
name.
The
She
smoking
was in
lady.
it. Yeah,
Really?
she was in it. She was good. I liked her in it. But yeah, other than that, it was just like, why?
Uh, Next up at 80 from 1982 is Poltergeist, which we did an episode on a couple years ago.
So good.
That
A an entry level ghost story movie for like families or getting people like you got a friend who's not into scary movies. It's like this is a good entry level horror that does have some good
Oh
scaries. It has some good scaries.
I completely agree when you said scaries. I'm like, yeah, it does.
yeah.
There are some scaries. The I fucking we talk about it every time. This one or the sequel is the one with the tree, and then the other one has like
This one has a tree in it.
there's another
This one
part
has
with the sun that freaked me out, but I think it's the sequel. But anyways, regardless.
the
Craig T.
sequel
Nelson.
even yeah, the
Yeah.
sequel, even when the preacher dude walks up to the little girl in public and he's just like
Yeah,
smiling at her, that's enough. I'm like, no, fuck that dude.
dude was horribly sick with stomach cancer, I think, at the time, which oh my god, that guy is
So
the
he was
scariest thing
dead
I've
at
ever
the time.
seen. Yeah, he was somehow still alive, but
I would rather ask Kenneth Copeland to hold my wallet than spend time with that dude.
I don't know if I'll go that far. Ooh, number 79 from 2008, Martyrs, which we've also done an episode on, and one of the more disturbing movies if you go check out the lists. I don't agree. I love this movie. I'd put it in the 30s.
It is good. I understand why people say it's disturbing though, because it
Yeah,
is. I would put it in the 30s just based on the open. It's just that
it holds nothing back.
smacks you in the fucking face.
Have you watched
Jeff, have
Martyrs,
you?
Jeff?
No. No, I've not. I listened to the episode on it, and I've
Big
wanted to watch it, but I've not watched it
big
yet.
recommend. Avoid the American remake from a couple years after this. It is supposedly
Oh,
god awful.
okay, I've seen 2 of them on there, and I was looking I don't know if they're both the same movie or what that is.
Yeah, one is an American remake because of
You want you want the French extremist version.
yeah.
Yep.
The
78
original
House
is
of
usually
Wax.
the better, the American remake is usually not so great.
Yeah, there is one on here that we'll have an interesting conversation when we get to. But House of Wax, 1953. I'm more uh familiar with the 80s House of Wax or Waxworks, I think it's called. I don't think it's even called
Waxworks
how.
with the magician,
Yeah. So this one I am not familiar with.
or
Oh,
or are you talking about House of Wax with Paris Hilton?
yeah.
Not that one.
That one deserves on like a house that not in the top 10. I don't know.
Not that one.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
This is
Thoughts on this
basically
one?
a remake of Mystery at the Wax Museum with, Fay Wray,
Okay.
which is very good, and this is one has Vincent Price, it was in 3D. It is very good movie.
Is 78 a good spot for it?
I think so.
Okay, fair enough.
It's not the greatest, but it is very good. It has it was like they did it in 3D, so they have a lot of the 3D elements where people are like, "Oh, here's a yo-yo!" Like, "Oh my god,
Pointing it
stop
right
with
at
the
the screen.
horror and just throw things at the screen just to be like,
Well,
woo!"
it's good to know that when they tried to revive 3D in the 80s for a brief period, they were still doing the exact same thing. Like in Friday Part 3.
Right?
It's like, come on. That it's so hard to watch this day and age. Like,
I can't remember if any of the horror elements were in 3D. It was just like, let's stop the movie and let's just go. Oh, we're just doing throwing a yo-yo at the screen and doing this and that. It's like, why? It was good though.
I I wish there was a way to take that shit out. 77 from 1922. Jeez, a Pete. Haxan. Haxan?
Oh yeah,
Haxan.
accent.
I
I'm not familiar.
I haven't
I've
watched it.
watched it.
Oh, okay. From
Re-
what I read, you can confirm, Jeff, or deny. From what I read, this is kind of the first mockumentary type horror where it's like, oh, it's got those documentary elements, but it's all bullshit, but it's ramps up
What's
the
it
fear.
mocking? It's at the beginning of time.
It is very short. It is. It's not long. It's just got like the devil pops out of I think a cauldron, and it's very weird. I mean,
That's why I
it
don't keep
definitely
cauldrons in my
deserves to
house.
be on like the top somewhere. Just be like, hey, this is a thing that we created back in 1922.
The
I mean,
imagery
maybe
in
it's
this
beautiful back
is
then. It's not scary, but it is definitely like, hey, this happened.
right. Next up, from 1992, at number 76, Candyman. Dave, this is all your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Candyman. When that it was so good, and it was such a unique kind of thing. Even back in the early '90s, to see that this is not black exploitation, but this is more black voice horror.
Right.
I was excited for the remake and that Jordan Peele executive produced. And if there's anything that he's laid an egg on, it's that. Now, I was not super sold on that. I might have to give it another watch because there are some things that I read after the fact that make me want to watch it to look for little details. But
Okay. How you feel, Candyman being 76?
I think that I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm
Jeff,
not got a horse in that race.
I steamrolled you, Jeff. How do you feel about Candyman? You seem like you have some thoughts on Candyman.
Oh, Candyman was great. I even liked the executive produced version of Jordan Peele did. It kind of gives you a little bit more backstory to Candyman that wasn't there before. So it kind of gives you that kind of element, like, oh, okay. And it still had Tony Todd in it. So I mean, it was great.
Mm.
I mean,
He's very good.
My Twitter friend's Tony Todd.
Oh, he's your Twitter friend? Sweet.
Yes. All he posts
He's
is
so
cat
good in
videos most
that.
of the time.
My
He
man.
is like, yeah, he's like Grandpa Tony Todd now, and it's great. He seems legit like the nicest guy in the fucking world. And then he gets on camera and he will fucking terrify you. I did
Right?
like the one thing I did already like on the remake was that he did go after the cops a little bit because it makes more sense
Yeah.
if you're getting revenge, your soul is getting revenge for this racially motivated lynching that you went through. Why
Right.
are you killing little black kids on the street? Like they're not the ones. Kill the cops. So
Right. So much better than Bloody Mary, I would say. He is terrifying.
the
All right.
bees, not the
Not the
bees,
bees.
and yeah, they should make a mashup with the Wicker Man and Candyman at the same
Right?
time.
uh, bees. So next up, 75 from 1972, Last House on the Left. And this is what an
So
era.
good.
Um Wes Craven, right? This was the Wes Craven. Um
Wes Craven first. Is this his first?
I think so. This I believe got, if it didn't get rated X, it got rated almost to X. And the way they got
Yeah.
around it was they just took cases, film cases that had an R rating on them, and put the film in that, and then sent that out. They didn't
It
edit
is
shit.
brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal.
And
The only movie my mom told me not to watch. Like, don't ever watch this movie. I was like, oh, I
it's
gotta watch this movie.
and then I don't remember what year the remake come out, but the remake, of course, a 2000s remake for this is just
Yeah,
not. It just don't hit the same way.
shot for shot, like the Psycho one was just like,
Yeah.
okay, why
I
it
I'm
didn't do
I'm
anything.
out when they put the guy's head in the microwave. My microwave, if it's a millimeter open, will not operate. So come on, man. I'm supposed to believe that? Supposed to believe that? Really? In my mind, though, I put Last House on the Left with I Spit on Your Grave because they're
Yeah.
those
Yeah,
Yeah.
exploitation horror that is so fucking great.
I wrote that on my list too. I was like, I Spit on Your Grave is definitely like Last House on the Left. It
Yeah.
has to be
They're
on there. So
totally products of their time. They're like sister movies somehow. It's so.
right.
I would never want to watch the double feature of that, but I'm sure there are people that are like, "What a double feature! It's crazy." A Girl Walks Home at Night at number 74 from 2014. Is that Emma Roberts?
No,
She
it's like
looks.
French.
That's French Emma Roberts.
I don't know. It was
uh,
definitely foreign. I watched part of it. Eh,
Dave, have you seen this? I've got nothing.
I have not. I
probably
have
not
Okay,
not
French.
watched this.
we're not going to give it any
Oh.
more time.
Well,
1996.
Moving on.
Jumping back in the Wayback Machine. Number 73, Scream. I'm honestly a little surprised it's not higher, even though I personally wouldn't put it higher. I figured it would be higher. Um,
Definitely
People love some
good.
Scream,
I
man.
think I think it's generational though, because I would guess Jackie would put it much higher. Or and again, this is one that you could put the franchise on the line. Jackie would put it much higher. But me, it feels sacrilegious to have this before higher on the list than Jason.
Right?
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
so
I agree.
They basically go in and just say, "Hey, we're in a horror movie through all the series." And it's like, okay,
But we know
but
we
that's it.
are, and that's what makes. Yeah, I remember renting this when it was on the new wall, and I think I was in 8th grade, 7th grade, somewhere around. There was a school dance happening that night, and I got to rent Scream rather than go to a school dance,
you,
which sums up my life.
I, I would still say you won that
I
transaction.
I, I
You
feel like
you
I
won
did,
it live.
and then now here I am on the internet. Night of the Demon,
Internet almost
19.
famous.
Not if Universal has anything to say about it. Number 72, Night of the Demon, not Night of the Demons, which I'm very
Right.
familiar with. So,
It is
fellas,
good.
I assume this is a prequel.
No.
There's only one demon in this one, and then um, okay.
they needed 30 years to build up their thing. I think it is 30. Anyways, so 72 feels like a good spot for this one.
I don't think it was that great to be 72, but it's definitely good to be in the top 101.
I'm starting to see where my big blind spots are. It's everything before the 70s is where I'm. What the fuck is this? 1971, The Bird with the Crystal Plumage?
I haven't seen that one yet.
1971, I said. At number 71. I don't know what year this was. It certainly looks like the 70s.
It is on Shutter. I know that
Hold on, let's do a
because
Google search real
I saw
quick.
it the other day.
Uh, Come on, scroll. 1970. Okay, back to the main event.
Ah,
I
Uh,
saw it on the Shutters, and I scrolled right on. I was tempted the other night. I was like, I should watch at least one of the movies on the list I haven't seen yet, and I said, nah, I just scrolled on.
Next up is 70. Let the right one in.
oh,
Swedish?
very good.
Is this the Swedish?
This is the Swedish one.
The and then of course, I'm sure in a little bit we'll get to the American one. Let the other one in.
It's,
Let's go
It was maybe
yeah,
called.
let the right one in with
now.
But that was
the TV series one. It's good.
the has Chloe Grace Moretz in the remake, the American remake version, which some horror fans seem to enjoy. I wouldn't say more, but like in equal parts. They're like it's different, but it's still. I don't. I've seen that one, but it's been so long that I don't know. Have either of you seen this one?
I've
Yeah,
seen both. I've seen both,
I
and I think
yeah.
the Chloe Grace one, it feels like she's using the boy more, where in the
Mm,
Swedish one, it really feels like she's actually has a connection to the boy. So
okay.
Right.
Jeff, thoughts?
The movie is really good. The series isn't bad. The series is really good too, but I feel like the movie's so much better. The Swedish one.
So 70 feels like a good spot for you guys. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I feel like so.
I'm gonna shit my pants if the next one is the American version. And it's not. Repulsion from 1965 at number 69. This looks like a spy movie to me, based on the picture.
It's from Polanski, so
Okay.
I tried watching it. I haven't got through it all the way.
Okay.
He's
Uh,
got some good horror movies. I don't think it's his best one.
Speaking of not his best one, here is Ari Aster's Midsommar, number 68. I'm saying that to rile Dave up.
I'm riled. Consider me riled.
I watched this up based on your guys' review, so it was good. I liked it.
Ari Aster, who's not been making films a whole long time, like he's
Yeah.
represented on on the list as much as Vincent Price is.
Right?
So
The
dude's
recency
doing something
bias.
right.
I don't know about none of this. I don't know about this. At least, yeah, it feels okay for Midsommar for me. I'm okay with that.
I I like where it is. I think this is okay. Okay.
Just talking a little bit of shit on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde earlier, Dave. Here we are, number 67. Ain't no way this is better than Wolfman for me. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Just isn't. Just ain't.
I Jeff,
Oh, the
let me step back.
special effects is really good. How they go between how he looks as Jekyll to Hyde.
That's true. You're
Um,
right.
I do like the Spencer Tracy version. They just kind of he just kind of gives a different. They don't change like the Frederick Mark version, like his hairy face and stuff. They just go from like a really sinister smile to his
Hmm.
normal face.
And his
I kind of like
eyebrows
that
get a
version
little bushy.
better. Right. I think I do like the Spencer Tracy version better, but the Frederick Marr, they how they transition between
Yeah.
the hairier face to his normal face, what was like top of the line at the time.
Some effects like that. Like there's another one. I forget what movie it is. I see it on like clips and stuff all the time of a similar transition with like an old woman turning into a witch.
Yeah.
I forget what it's from. And like stuff like that. Like if somebody held a gun to my head, I'm like I can do some things in OBS. I don't know how the fuck that works. I would die. I would die to the gun because I don't know how that works. But how do you feel? 67?
That's pretty good.
But
I think agree with you, Chris. Though I'd still put Wolfman ahead of this.
Yeah.
Should be higher.
Black Sunday, 1960, at number 66.
Uh, is this the YouTube song? I don't.
I think it's Black
Sunday
Friday.
Bloody Sunday. Uh, oh,
Is this when the stock market crashed? I got nothing.
Sunday Bloody Sunday.
Um, Another Mario Bava. Um,
It is good. It's I don't think it's 66 good, but it should be further down the list.
we should have already come across it by now.
Yeah.
65, A Nightmare on Elm Street, my wife's favorite franchise. And another, the second Wes Craven so far. Um, she may murder me if she was to hear this, but I feel like 65. I'd maybe go a little higher because I like
Maybe a little bit. This is another put the franchise on the list. If you put Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I would definitely move it up. It's definitely ratchets up
I think you mean A Night
the
Queer on Elm Street because that's what the the whole fan base rallies behind it, and I never knew that was a thing. They're like, it's the
uh,
gay Elm Street, and I'm like, why? And then you watch there's a great the Scream King or something, Scream Queen that's about the actor in part two. We're going off on a tangent on part two. Part two's great. Go watch that documentary if you're interested in the like LGBTQ kind of aspects of it. But like when you get the whole thing, you're like, oh, I guess it is. I guess it is kind of the gay Nightmare on Elm Street when you look at it like that. It is.
like the idea that 2 maybe is setting up for the idea that Freddy was not the dude, but the sheriff and the gym teacher who was the actual child molester set him up to take the fall. Uh,
Interesting.
you know, so I kind of like that idea because why would I come back for revenge if I got what I deserved? Yeah.
Fair enough. A Mask of the Red Death. The Mask of Red Death, sorry. 1964. At number 64, we finally got one. They finally got the number
Mhm.
and the year together. And it's Vincent Price.
Oh,
Jeff, do your business. Tell us why or why not it should be 64.
Oh, I mean, it's another. I think it's a Roger Corman one. It is good. I don't think it's hilarious, but I mean, it's Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, you got that classic element to it.
Dave?
uh, so the imagery and the color of this is really good, and it's fits in the '60s time so well. Um, but it could be remade for today because it's a plague town, right?
Yeah,
They destroy a plague town, so ooh,
The Innocents,
coronavirus.
1961 at number 63. I'd be fighting that urge this whole list to be like, it's from 1961, better put it at 61. I would That'd really bother me. Anyways, I've not seen this. I think I've heard of it. But it holds no meaning to me.
Jeff, have
Fellas,
you seen this?
I've not seen it.
So I've not seen it either, but in the blurb of this movie, it's based on this book, The Turn of the Screw, which is the book that the dude guarding the sarcophagus in Phoebes Rises Again was reading. So in a way, Vincent Price is in this one too. He's just in the lore.
there you go. Possession, 1981 at number 62 with a young Sam Neill. I remember the first time I was scrolling through this list, I'm like, was that Sam Neill? I'm not familiar with this one. This was right around the time when he did the Omen movie. Two it was his two or three. The older Damien. Part two? Part three? I
I
don't
think it's
remember.
three.
But I have no information on this in my brain. And moving on.
Yeah, nada for me. I got nothing.
61, The
Now,
Birds from 1963.
think this is a classic. I mean, this
Oh yeah,
is one of those that it feels like everyone would have bitched and complained if you leave the birds off of here because Alfred Hitchcock is so good. He does make another
right.
appearance, but the birds is a classic.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
And I mean the bird effects are really good for that time. Kind of
Yeah,
ahead of its time for a lot of that.
but have you seen Birdemic?
I've seen parts of it.
That's all you need to see. That's all you need to see,
When
Chris.
the Birds from 1963 has better effects than Birdemic, you know you should maybe just delete your movie. You
Have you
gave it
seen
a.
the trailer for The Birds? The movie The Birds with Alfred Hitchcock kind of like giving an introduction into the birds. It is pretty
I
good
think I
trailer.
have.
They don't really show you scenes from the movie. It's just him talking about the movie.
Yes, yeah, I think I have seen that. What do you feel? How do you feel about 61 for the Birds?
It's good. I mean, I think it's probably a good spot for it. It's not like the scariest, but it is a very good movie. It's definitely in the top 100.
Moving on. 1932 is The Mummy at number 60. Dave will have something to say about this.
This is the one. This is the one that
Yeah.
got me into horror. It is good. It is good. Um, I'd say it's appropriate. You know, Gillman, Creature from the Black Lagoon needs to be up higher. Bam, needs to be higher. Mummy and Wolfman can be close together somewhere for me, but I do think Frankenstein Dracula belong before both of those guys.
Look, I can agree with that. I still need to watch.
And is this the first time Tom Cruise is on the list? Or, oh, oh, uh, okay.
What's funny
Moving
is
on.
I just saw a picture of Tom Cruise, and like the blurb was like 61-year-old Tom Cruise. I'm like, he looks fucking younger than I do now. And then how old was the guy in this? Probably like 25. He's just like the effects of the world. It's crazy. It's
In the
crazy.
20s and 30s, they started kids smoking at the time age of 5, though. So
1978's Invasion of the Body Snatchers is at number 59. What can you say about this movie? Oh my god.
so
Uh
good, so good.
A bit better than the original, but I mean, the original was still pretty good.
yeah, the
At least one of them made it to the top, you know?
the end of this is haunting
Oh,
with his scream. Oh my god, and the point. If only they'd have made it
Honestly,
3D.
other than that,
at
you
least
just
Ben
be pointing
McCarthy
at your
was in
face.
this one too.
Jeff
And Spock.
Goldblum.
Spock was getting it on.
Hell yeah!
This also her husband at the beginning. It was which Cronenberg movie was he in? The Brood. I think he was the main guy in the Brood. So I take it as kind of like a Brood sequel in a certain way. That's just me.
At least Ben
Eyes.
McCarthy was still in this movie, and it's like, oh, he shows up in it.
Was that a good spot? Did you feel like 59 was a good spot
Yeah, yeah,
for
he
for
was
that version?
very
I
good.
feel like it could go higher because this is so good. I could see this. They when we get to the front, the higher list, we are really hit that recency bias you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Move this up there. Move this up there. Spread that out.
Yeah. Eyes Without a
This
Face.
is top 20.
Follow Jeff on Slasher.
Yeah.
There we go.
So good.
Tell us, regale us. Should this be a 58? How do you feel about it?
Hey, I feel like it's fine where it's at on the list, for the time it was at. It's French, so you got to read subtitles. So it is a very good movie.
I don't know a lot about it, but
I
I'll
have
have
not
to.
seen it. Allegedly, it has some really good effects, some like stomach
Mm.
churning effects.
For the time it was made, yeah, very good special effects.
The Curse of Frankenstein from 1957 at number 57. We've got two.
We did it. We did it. We did it, folks. We did it.
Now, is this the Hammer
And we
film?
have Hammer Films. Yes.
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 I've not. I
So
started Dracula a little bit. I didn't. I never got over to Frankenstein. So regale me, regale me with your Frankenstein's.
so you talked about the Avengers earlier, with Cheney and Karloff, and here we have the redux of that with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing for the first time together. Correct?
Sure.
So
Think
I'm
so,
gonna
but
I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with it.
you got to have
The
them
Curse
both
of
together.
Frankenstein, and I think this was the first one. Was this the first Hammer where they took those movies, monsters that Universal had already done, and they were like, "Hey, Universal, what you gonna do about it?" Yep.
Amen.
So
I think they
Hammer is my.
redid all with them with Christopher Lee though, didn't they? Was that Dracula? I think probably Dracula.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, Dracula. Is it Curse of Dracula? Horror of Dracula? Horror of Dracula is later on the
The
list.
Three Wives of Saint Dracula or something was another one.
Think
I,
Dracula.
The the Seven Golden Vampires, which
the Tooth of the
very
Master
bad.
of colon. The moving on. 1950. Jesus Christ. At number 56, 1932. Freaks, which I've never watched, but I've seen so many clips of it. It feels like I have seen a good portion of it. Anyways, I
Oh
need to.
yeah,
I need to watch it because it's
Bob
so.
Browning, man,
Yes,
that's a
yes.
classic. You gotta watch that
I need to. I really need to.
Went out and cast real freaks in his movie, and this is where I get the one of us.
right.
Oh. Now
Very
what's
like
this person? Oh, my mouse isn't showing up on the screen now. Okay, it was, and then it wasn't, and then now it's not either. Uh, the person in the background there. Well, in the back, not really background, but we see the freakish aspect of the left person. But what's going on with the right person? I don't see any. She got
I
kind
think
of a
I think she
unibrow
just
going.
I think
short.
she's tiny. I
Oh,
think
it's
she's
Yeah,
tiny and
oh, okay.
looks she's got the baby face, but she's
And so is the big one a
not.
man or something? What's going on with that one?
I think she's super tall. I
Oh,
think she's a scientist.
okay.
So and
what's
then
going on with
him.
him?
You got
Yeah, she's small. She's
Get a load of this guy.
it is so good. You know, one of those ones that were like people were freaking out about the time, like, oh my god, why would you put these people in the movie? But
Yeah.
if they wanted to be in the movie, it's perfectly fine. I don't think anybody's making fun of them.
It would be. I don't know that a remake could ever happen for that.
No,
I
no.
would be
I think
overwhelmed.
people would be appalled by that.
Yeah,
People were not
So
happy with it at the
if
time.
you were Carney, don't you make money on like people coming in to be shocked and scared? So this movie just
Right.
probably elevated Carney's status for a while.
yeah. It's like Nintendo for carnies.
Yeah,
You can do your carnying at home. 1962's Carnival of Souls is at number 55. I know of
I
this.
watched this a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I watched it a couple weeks ago, and 55 is a little too generous for me.
The 1997 Kiss album, Carnival of Souls,
Ooh.
their heaviest album. Some fans hate it. I
Prefer
think
Psycho Circus.
it came out after this. It was the next one, but this one was the non makeup Kiss, and it's pretty got some heavy parts. But Gene Simmons is a classic horror fan. That's kind of where all that came from, and I know that that's where the name of that album came from was this. And I still haven't watched it after almost 30 years of loving that album. I still haven't watched Carnival of Souls, and I need to.
Are you even a Kiss fan? Are you
Not
even a Kiss fan?
not really. No.
Jeff,
uh,
you were silent on Carnival of Souls.
It's a good movie. I mean, I don't remember much of it though.
55, based on your two reactions to it, seems it should not be where it is.
Yeah, no, probably further down the list, but
Here we go. 1960, Village of the Damned is at number
oh
54.
yeah,
I've
This is a good one.
seen this. I'm more familiar with the remake Carpenter version from like 90 whatever.
With
Just
Christopher Reeves.
yeah,
Yep.
which
Both are good though.
I've not watched this one in so long that whenever I start to think about Village of the Damned, I think about the Carpenter version. So I don't know.
It just more proof. Kids are crazy, man, and they should be avoided at all costs.
Yeah, yeah, that's
I like it here though. I like it here on the list.
number 53, 2014's It Follows.
Not
Internet at
seen it.
large seems to love this one.
I think
I
it
don't
could
know.
move back.
I agree.
I think it could move back. It could be on the list if it needed to be, but does not seem like the right spot.
Jeff, this movie is essentially STD, the movie.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean, the internet's gonna get pissed off if they ever watch our podcast. If Universal doesn't shut us down first, and be like, "It's deeper than that," and it's like, but, but is it? Is it?
But is it? Did you watch Smile? Anyone watch
We were
Smile from
just
Yeah.
talking about that
23?
before you got
Yes.
on.
Okay.
Miles good.
Smile did it better.
Yeah.
Until the creature was revealed, and then it kind of took me out. I didn't like the creature effect at the
And
end,
the
but I like the
I'll
creature
rest of
toss
it.
effect
it on
was
the list.
taken from what's that scary stories to tell in the dark with a big
Oh.
blobby. So
The book was better.
Oh, here we go. 1999's Audition is at number 52. I was not expecting Audition, and here we go.
Haven't seen it.
I don't know that you really need to see it. I don't know that's like one of those movies. I feel like it's maybe a little
there-
high.
there's a couple clips you can
Yeah,
see and be done, be happy.
it
I
is a
remember
little bit of a slog to get to
I
those.
remember how giddy with excitement I was when I first got a copy of this, and how much I had to wade through to get to the good parts. So I feel like this is way too high.
I watched it
If it
not knowing there
belongs
were
on
good
the
parts.
list, yeah, there's
Yeah,
yeah
52 is
I
a
don't
little more. Oh,
know
load more?
if this is on the list, it's 101.
That's like Homer Simpson going to the video store and seeing part of McBain, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to watch the movie?" Like, no, I just saw the best part.
When I was a kid, I thought that you could take, your VHS recorder and like it was when I think about when the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie came out. I was like, brain idea, record all of the commercials, and then somehow, you know, you're gonna get the whole movie if you get all of them. I didn't
Yeah.
realize my stupid little kid brain was like, there's like maybe two different versions you're watching, child. But anyways, 1942's Cat People at 51. Does this have anything to do with the Stephen King movie with the incestuous cat people from the 90s?
Since
Sleepwalkers?
before he wrote the movie, or wrote the book.
It was maybe before he was even born. Cat People. I got no.
I have nothing either.
There was also another cat movie that had who was uh not Roddy McDowell. What am I thinking? The dude
Are you thinking Cat's Eye?
who what?
Are you thinking Cat's Eye with Drew Barrymore and James Wood?
No. I'm thinking of an 80s one that had sh- the guy from never mind cuz nothing makes sense in my brain. I can't I database corrupted.
Now I'm gonna wonder what you're talking about.
I'll have to research it. A Clockwork Orange. Who was the main guy? Not Roddy McDowell. He's the guy from Planet of the
Malcolm
Apes.
McDowell.
Malcolm
Malcolm.
McDowell. Malcolm McDowell did a movie in the 80s where he was like another like incestuous cat thing, I think. And he had like cat contacts. Internet.
I don't know.
Let us
Not gonna look it
know.
up.
I think. but we got nothing on this one.
Oh,
1987's
now.
Near Dark at 50.
No
I'm surprised.
idea.
I'm surprised we've not done this one, honestly. Lance Henriksen and
Oh,
Bill not Pullman, the other
Twister
Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård.
Paxton. Bill
Bill
Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
He
Uh,
said
Oh,
V-Scars.
it's a vampire flick, and it's pretty decent, ladies. It's not got the stature of a Lost Boys or something.
Pumpkinhead.
It's more it's more gritty and yeah. This
At
was
least
People
probably
that like
his was
Near
wrong
Dark, the people that like Near Dark really like Near Dark, though. I mean, it's good. I mean, it is.
yeah. I've not watched it in
Uh,
so long. I need to watch it again. We may have to do that this year. We've talked about it before. Like we need to do Near Dark. 50. I don't know about. I don't know 50. I don't know if it's high or low, honestly.
like there's better movies than that.
Um, 1975, Jaws, number 49.
So
I'm
good,
surprised it's not higher. Dave
right?
hates Jaws.
same, same. I don't hate
You
Jaws.
you
I
told
just
me
did
once,
didn't
you
do
said
shit
this
for
is the
me.
worst piece of
It,
shit. He's like, speaking as
it
a
don't do shit
landlubber,
for me.
the sharks mean nothing. And I'm like, you're not wrong.
I stand by. I stand by.
How
I
can
am
you be
not
scared
afraid of
of a
sharks.
pussy shark? I think is your exact quote.
I was not afraid of sharks until I saw Sharks of the Corn last year, and realized they could live in a cornfield in Kentucky.
Cornfield, Kentucky.
And that's changed your outlook
But
on Jaws.
that did change my outlook on Jaws. So
Fair enough. I
yeah,
love Jaws.
I said that. I said that, but I have grown since then.
You know what I didn't know? I didn't know
I
Jaws was based on a book until this year.
Oh yeah,
And it's on my Amazon list, and I've been waiting for a deal. Because I already know
you're
how.
Flowey.
come on, Amazon,
I forget who
give us a
wrote it,
program.
but it's based on a book, and I'm like, holy shit! I may be saying that, and it's a novelization. I think it's based on a book, because I
It is
remember a
on,
couple.
but
But yeah, 47 seems a little. I don't know.
49.
49.
49. Sorry. I being a kid swimming in the swimming pool. I'm like, fuck a Jaws. I can't swim in here by myself.
A couple times during the summer, you'll see float float parties where they float and watch a movie, and they'll show Jaws.
Yes,
And I would like to
I
experience it that way
I would
sometime
too.
because I think that would scare the fuck out of me.
I would love
Right?
that. But you can get all pruny, man. How you gonna be in the water for 2 hours?
Sitting on a raft.
Yeah, I could
Now
do
you
it.
get in the
I
water.
could do it.
Can we drink while we do this? Because that'd be rad.
Hopefully.
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
just bought Stella an inflatable drink holder for the pools this year.
Silence of the Lambs, 1991, is at number 48. I'm there for it. I think this is a good spot. Dave has
Very
frozen. Dave has froze as shit.
good.
But it's friendly, Dave, and not. Oh, he's back. Only two
Uh,
freezes so far. Doing
oh,
good.
that's not bad. Not bad.
I don't have a lot to say about Silence of the Lambs. It's kind of the sequels. The one before this, Manhunter. Was it Manhunter?
Yeah, the prequel.
I've still never watched.
It is not great.
And then didn't they redo it for like a TV show? Wasn't it like a? It was like a Netflix show. I forget.
That was I thought that was the basis for the Hannibal show.
Yeah. The Hannibal show is so much better than Manhunter.
Oh, maybe it was that. Maybe it was that.
It was good. That was really good.
Oh, so good.
The Island of Lost Souls, 1932. Not to be confused with Carnival of Souls or the Lost
Right.
Carnival of Island Souls.
I have no idea.
Dr. Moreau.
I got no idea either. She looks topless, so that's cool. Dave, thoughts before we move on? Have you seen this? Do you know of it?
I have. Yeah, I do. I do.
Really?
It's Dr. Moreau, man. This is the island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Uh,
I did read
so
that.
yeah,
Not better than
it is
Doctor
freaky
Moreau.
deaky. It is some freaky deaky stuff. So
the
getting busy with those
devils.
animal people.
Dude, if it ain't incestuous, it's animacious. I don't know what you call animal human stuff. Bestiality. There it is.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
I just made up a word. Anyways, the Devils, 1971, 40, at number
No idea.
46. I know of it, and it's
Yes,
got a
just
reputation.
put it. I just put it in my cart on Amazon. I did find it,
Oh,
or not Amazon, on eBay. I found it on eBay. And
it was
I put it in my cart.
it
So
was banned for so long because it's so sacrilegious and blasphemous, and it's like even before like the video nasties, I think it was like they're like you can't watch this in civilized society. Um, I'm interested to watch it, but still haven't yet to watch it. But it's cool that a flick that is controversial for 1971, which probably means nothing in our day and age, is this high. So we may have to check that out. Check that one out. Here's
it
one we
it,
won't have
it
to
was
check out.
it was controversial in 1971 if it had a interracial couple.
Yeah, Train to Busan, 2016 at number 45.
Yes.
A little bit of a shocker. I'm surprised to see it, let alone it be on the higher end
Really?
of the list. I
That's a
mean,
good zombie movie.
we're kind of
Good.
we've been mostly a lot of 70s and pre-70s stuff so far. So now we're getting a little. Now we're starting to see some more of the modern horror, modern Asian horror, even. But
But
train.
from 101 to 46, we've not had any zombies. So
Right?
this is the
Good
first
point.
time our zombies have hit our list, and
It's
they're some
good.
of my favorites. So
And this was
Train to Busan is great.
one of the better modern takes on them. So again, recency bias. I've got my own recency bias. I would have put this probably a little bit higher, but I
It
feel like
is very
45.
good though.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it's not just a zombie flick. Like and it's not just the Walking Dead drama, which I
Human
immediately got
emotion.
sick of. Yeah, like there's actually good like story and acting and emotion within this.
Right?
It's not just like Carl, damn it. It's like okay, chill, just chill. Okay, I'm going off on a Walking Dead tangent.
They do build it up though. It's very good.
Yeah, this was. Have you watched Peninsula yet? Because I still have yet to watch the sequel. We may have to do that this year
I
as
have,
well.
I have.
You know there's a sequel.
It's not as good, but did
What?
you
Write
expect
that
it to be?
down.
Yeah. What can be as good as that? Watch the. I should. I don't know if I would say watch the trailer, Jeff, because when I watched the trailer, I'm like, this looks like the most perfect zombie movie I've ever seen. It's got everything I've ever wanted.
I have to watch that.
1976, Carrie. The first. Is this the? No, it's not the. It's the second Stephen King flick on here. Number 44.
His first big hit novel wise, though,
Yes.
that he
Yeah.
had thrown away, and his wife was like, "What are you doing?" And she helped him rewrite some of the female view into the story. So
Yeah.
good on you, Mrs. King.
Right.
So I
Uh,
assume she calls Stephen the Scarecrow. That's a Scarecrow and Mrs. King joke. I guess you have
oh,
to be there.
So good though. It has oh what's his name in it? I don't know why I can't think of his name.
Travolta.
Yeah, Travolta in it.
You know who I always forget is in this is Nancy Cartwright. Not Nancy Cartwright. She's the voice of Bart Simpson. The fucking Officer Lewis from RoboCop is in this, and I forget.
Oh, yeah, Nancy.
Not Cartwright.
No, not Cartwright.
Nancy Allen. Nancy Allen.
Yeah, Nancy Allen. God.
I don't know why Cartwright is like what came out of my stupid brain. I need to reboot, I think.
Ah,
How you feel about 44 for Carrie, though? I'm kind of,
Okay with that. I'm okay.
yeah.
yeah,
Okay with
it is good.
it. Has
Uh oh. It,
I think I was like fairly unique for 76. I was 2 years old at the time, so I have no frame of reference. But
I was negative 8.
those negative ages are really rough. Like you don't remember anything.
Back to the Hammer films. Horror of Dracula, 1958, at number 43. I really, Christopher Lee's Dracula. It's hits something in my brain. I'm like, that's cool. I like the visual of him as Dracula. But I've watched
Like I feel
one.
like we need to do more horror, hammered horror on here.
I agree.
I've not watched this one. I've not watched Horror of Dracula,
I
but
don't
I've
think I've
seen the
watched this one
stills.
either.
We're just gonna have to focus on some Hammer horror one day and just
Yeah.
start it.
It's got Christopher Lee in it, though. I mean, it's got to be good,
Christopher Lee is a badass.
right?
In real life, yes,
Yeah,
that dude is.
that's my favorite Christopher Lee story is when they were doing something on Lord of the Rings and he was supposed to get stabbed in the back or stab somebody in the back and he's like, "No, that's not how getting stabbed in the back works. This is how it works because I've done it." During World War II. The Babadook, 2014 at number 42.
Chris and Jen, I know you're loving this.
Uh, I'm that close to technical difficulties right now. I Did you know the Babadook, the creature itself, is kind of like a gay icon now?
uh, yeah, it's
Okay,
It,
that one I
weirdly,
don't understand.
I don't really understand either. But
oh, gay icon. I have no
not a
idea.
yeah, not a horror icon.
Oh, okay,
He's like you'll.
I thought it was based off like the Lon Chaney, London After Midnight.
It oh that
Uh,
Even though you
I
yeah
can't
thought
find like the actual version of it, but you can find like a movie they did with stills of it.
yeah
It is very much so like that. Lon Chaney was, like the best at that kind of
I
stuff.
yeah.
I thought the kid might be the thing that drives it to the gay icon. Because once you see this kid act, you turn gay because you never want to have kids.
It almost got me.
Chris is like, I was so close.
Yeah. I like the idea of it. I like some of the stuff on it, but the kid ruins the movie for me. I can't even with this child.
To me though, this is the marks the first my first awareness at least of what I would call elevated horror, where horror is a stand-in for grief or emotion or you know, and that's the basis of it. Because at the end of the day, does the monster even really exist, or is
Right.
I don't yeah.
I thought it was good.
We're on.
Whiny kid or not.
It's not even that he's whiny, but like when he goes off on the tangents, like the in betweens,
Oh,
I would just give to like young acting. Like you can you get the what you get. But like when he's like off the rails, I'm like I would love to watch anything but this right now. Suspiria, 1977. Dario
woo.
Argento is at number 41.
Is this the first Argento we've seen? Is this the
I
only Argento on the list? I don't think it's the only
It
because
is the
didn't he do
first.
Red?
It is the first. Uh, thoughts,
One of the
opinions?
best. Argento. Yeah, Argento's great. Virios is best.
I need to get more into Argento. That's something personal goal. Personal.
It's a trilogy, isn't it though? The Suspiria
Oh, is it? I don't
like,
know.
or
I've
something
never
like
seen
that.
Suspiria 2 or 3.
I've seen the remake, the Amazon remake. I thought
There was like another one that was like a sequel. I thought there was like a trilogy to it
I
that had like something to do with like the one of the people in the movie. I can't remember what it is now though.
we're gonna have to circle back around on Argento, Hammer,
Oh,
Near Dark,
we're so
Universal,
close.
Vampire, 1932 at number 40. I don't know what this is, honestly.
I have no
Danish.
idea either.
It's a Danish film.
Seems like
The
something I should have already watched.
the blurb says it's an anthology of some type. So
Interesting. That looks like a.
they always got a good anthology.
Oh, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt for right now. Moving on to 32. We're gonna have to crank these out if we're gonna finish this in one night. We're at 32. We've got 32. What is going on with my brain? 39. 39.
I don't see how Godzilla is a horror. I mean, it's
It's.
definitely like the best kaiju movies, but
I mean, he is
I don't know what
destructive in this. I would give him the first one. I don't know that the whole series I would give him, but
the Matthew Broderick one was more of a horror movie than Godzilla is because I guess it's more action horror. I guess you could give it
the just the whole mutated nuclear bomb kind of aspect of it, which
the host was so much better though. That's more horror
I need to
than
watch that.
Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla
Yeah, it
has a little
is.
bit
Yeah,
of horror in it. I love Shin Godzilla, and then
it's
minus
got
one.
body horror. Shin
Yeah,
Godzilla has Godzilla body horror. Like Godzillas
Oh,
are watching Shin Godzilla and being like, "Ugh, ugh." Did
that's
David
right.
Cronenberg do this?
Or did that one? That's
I'd love Shin Godzilla, and it's also got some funny bits in there with the Japanese government. They're like, we have to get to the bottom of this Godzilla problem, but not in this room. Let's switch rooms, and then not this room. Let's switch back to a different room, and it's. But 39 for Godzilla feels pretty good for me, honestly. I feel like that's a good spot for Godzilla. It also
Watch
looks
that.
like he's flipping Universal off too with his little arm, and I appreciate that. Phantom of the Opera,
oh yeah,
1925,
Lon Chaney.
given his best Freddie Mercury live at Wembley.
Do you believe people were really fainting and gasping in the theater when the unmasking occurred? Because that's allegedly.
It is a pretty
It,
drastic makeup for 25.
right? People were scared of the original Frankenstein and stuff like that. I feel like with Boris Karloff. I'm
Yeah,
very well possible. And Lon Chaney did his own makeup too. Like
I didn't
no one
know
can
that. I
replicate
didn't
his
know that.
makeup at all. Like
with
he did his own
hooks
shit.
and stuff. Like, could you imagine an actor today being like, "Yeah, get a fish hook and lift my nose up"? There is not one actor that would be down for that. I feel like not a
Not a lot of actors go through that pain
yeah.
to make
Uh,
film.
Now they're
don't
like,
Only a
discredit
few I've
Shia
heard of.
LaBeouf.
I had to sit 4 hours to get plastic put on my face. It's like, okay, buddy.
Shia, Shia LaBeouf would suffer for his art.
It's pronounced
Guaranteed.
Lebu.
LaBeouf.
Oh,
Don't
Lord.
church it up. Don't church it up.
The Howling, 1981, is at number 37. I have yet to watch The Howling, honestly. I've been meaning to watch it for 30 years and still have yet to get to it. As much as I love American
Yeah.
Werewolf in London, I still have not watched The Howling.
And there are like 10 sequels.
Yeah, and some of them
They turned out the Halloween
I
sequels.
have. There's
Is
one
that
of
the
them.
one with Slim Pickens in it? I want to say Slim Pickens is the one of the Howling movies. It wasn't the first one; it was the second one.
I don't know. Christopher Lee's in one of them, and it's one of the worst. It's like they're marsupials.
What?
Yeah, I forget which one it is. Like the fourth or fifth one or something. He comes in wearing like weird like 80s sunglasses. It's a whole thing. I watched the video. Maybe Good Bad Flicks, who I love on YouTube. Go check him out and good bad flicks if you could send us people from your way. We're being suppressed by
Easy for you
Universal.
to say.
It would help. But The Howling, I've not watched it. Thoughts, opinions, you guys?
It's good. It is a good one, and the
Above the
end
Wolfman?
really sets it off.
This far above the Wolfman? I have.
That might be some recency bias, but it
I would
is
swap them.
the, the effects are good in Howling. Am I wrong to think that Baker, who did American Werewolf in London, started on this one?
Yes.
So
Him and who was the director of American Werewolf in London? John Landis.
Yeah.
John Landis.
They'd been talking about it because that was like their passion thing for years, like 10 something years, and never could get it started. And he started. Baker went off to do The Howling with Joe Dante, and then suddenly Landis was able to make an American Werewolf in London, so he left that to go do the thing he'd always wanted to do. And I think Rick Bottin is who ended up doing the final stuff for The Howling. He was his like apprentice or like helper or whatever for The Howling, and took over two very different, from what I've seen, clips of The Howling, very different makeup effects for that kind of a 80s werewolf, even though they're influenced by each other in a way. Need to watch it. Need to watch it. Really need to watch it. I don't know why I've not watched it. Can we watch that this year? Let's watch a bunch of movies this year.
Let's do it. Let's watch them all. Watch them all.
Dead of Night, 1945, number 36. I don't know.
I got nothing.
Is this a sequel to Dead Silence, the puppet movie from 20 years ago? With Marky Mark, brother? Philly Mark?
Wow.
Philly
Which one
cheesesteak?
with Anthony Hopkins?
Dead to Rights? Right,
No.
right of the night. I'm just saying words now.
Magic. Have you seen Magic?
Yes, I have seen Magic. I just watched it this year.
I don't.
Uh,
With I
why
can't
do
think who's
is
in the movie with
why
him.
do I think Luke Skywalker's in it?
I
No,
don't think Mark Hamill's in the movie. But it's very similar. It's
I
got the puppet thing going on. But that's got Al Guinness in it. I don't think I've seen it though.
Oh,
Al Guinness is very good.
I don't think I've seen anything Alec Guinness other than Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Uh,
Oh, what's that one he was in? That Tom Hanks did one remake of it. Can't think of what it is now.
but
The Lady Killers. I think the Lady Killers. Yeah,
oh,
very weird English kind of comedy thing.
speaking of English, at number 35, 28 Days Later from 2002, our
Best
next
one.
our next zombie flick. If you some people get offended when you refer to these as zombies, but
They're making a third film 28 years later.
yes,
and
and
it has only taken 28 years to make.
yeah, they're doing Romero proud right now. Danny
I don't know
Boyle.
who's directing it, but
I think Danny
28
Boyle is back to do it.
is he?
I think that's what got Killian Murphy back into the idea to want to do it. I may be wrong, but we'll see.
28 weeks later wasn't bad with Robert Carlyle, but
I need to
28
give
days
that one
later,
another chance. Yeah, 28 Days Later. At the time, 2002 had
right?
Dawn of the Dead, had Snyder's Dawn of the Dead come out. No, that was 2004,
I
I
don't believe
think.
so. Yeah.
So this
No, this
was
was the introduction to the fast zombies. So
yeah.
Very
I watched
grainy. It
this
was so
alone
good.
in a theater. I watched this alone in a theater. Nobody else in the theater. And the mood was just so great. It was so tense. I'm sitting in the theater, and by the time it was over, every sound, like when the usher came in to fucking sweep up popcorn, I was like, "What the fuck?" I thought something was coming after me.
King Kong, topping Godzilla at number 34.
Good.
Speaking of gay icons,
Look at that belt, Queen.
I mean, Ray Harryhausen, he was so good at stop motion. He was like the best
Yeah.
at the time. I
Jack
mean,
Black was so good at this.
Uh, I f- I don't know. I don't know which one I would rate higher. I feel like I'm more of a Godzilla guy, so I would go with him kind of. But I mean, I understand. They're almost 10 spots apart. Wasn't Godzilla 39? I don't know that. I don't know.
I feel like Godzilla is more horror even. King Kong is so sympathetic. But the first Godzilla is not sympathetic. He's the bad guy. He's the villain. This is before he becomes the protector and the camp and all that gets put in. So
Yeah.
King Kong is sympathetic from the start.
Number 33, we got Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn. Dead by Dawn. Dead by Dawn.
So
The
correct me if
remake
I'm wrong.
of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
kind of,
And this
partly.
is our first this is the first movie that the sequel gets called out and not the OG.
Yeah.
So um but yeah, Evil Dead 2. Yeah.
Yeah. What else can you really say? Uh let's crank through some. There's not much to say on that. The Witch
Yep.
with
Wow,
Yep.
Anya Joy Taylor. Taylor Joy? Joy Taylor. I
yeah,
never get it right.
Anna
one of
Taylor-Joy.
the three.
Taylor Joy. I love this movie. I thought this was fantastic. Maybe a little high, honestly. There's some other movies I'd put in front of The Witch. That's just
I
me.
would too.
Even though I
But
think
I
it's
would
great.
move it down to 4. I mean, it might be higher 30s or low
I'd give it
40s, but
I'd
I
give
would
it
move it down
at
to
top
4.
50 at least.
Yeah,
Um
definitely good.
yeah, we are in agreement
Good
there.
period piece.
That picture, by the
Yeah,
way,
here.
I've got a real problem with this. But we'll get to that. The Fly, Cronenberg's The Fly, 1986, at number 31. That is a picture from The Fly 2. Whoever put the pictures on this thing is in trouble.
They didn't care.
That is not Brundle Fly. That is Brundle Sunfly. Get your shit together, Rolling Stone. Oh my god. But I
Where's the
love.
fact checkers at when you need them?
They did not consult with me on this Cronenberg list. But our first Cronenberg, I couldn't be happier. And probably the first Cronenberg movie I ever saw. I love The Fly. I really love everything about The Fly. It should be in the top three.
It,
It
yeah,
it is
Jeff Goldblum, so
it
good.
is very good.
I said that to like try to rile you guys up, but then you agreed with me, so I'm like, man, well,
I, I, I'll step back and say maybe not top 3.
I wouldn't even go top 10
I know
because there's so much
that's not even
stuff people
I
wouldn't
mean,
agree
I love
with.
the Vincent Price version of The Fly, but I mean, the Cronenberg is,
It's one of those
so much
80s remakes
more.
that, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it
what,
is
see,
one of the best remakes.
comparing The Fly, the Cronenberg to the Vincent Price one, is the same kind of jump that you would compare Blob 89 to the original Blob. It really
Right.
is. It goes so hard from what the original one was. We'll get there.
It's not like a shot for shot remake.
It's
It's like, here, we're gonna up the ante. Like, oh god, yeah.
yeah. At 30, we've got The Haunting, 1963. I have no idea.
Oh,
I don't know.
good. Better than the Sam Neeson?
Oh,
Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson and Catherine
Yeah,
Zeta-Jones,
yeah,
Take it.
and
Luke
Owen
Wilson,
Wilson.
Owen Wilson.
I didn't think it was that bad. A lot of people shit on that movie, but
I
the original, it is so much better.
I didn't realize that was a remake for a while.
Yeah.
I need to watch that because I didn't. I also was like okay with it with the remake. It was so maybe I need to check that out. How do you feel about it being
Me
30?
it the original probably, yeah. I mean, like, the remake, it had if you watch, like, the behind the scenes, they did some, like well, they're going up the spiral staircase, and they can only do it once because the whole thing fell apart, so it's like I feel like you get more of a better appreciation for the remake,
Oh.
but the original is better though.
Raw 2016 at number 29. This seems a little, I don't know.
It's a bit high. I think it should
Yeah,
be further back. It's good though. It's better than Detain.
I ha- I think I've seen this. This is like the
Oh,
college.
shots fired.
This is the college girl, right? That like
Yeah,
develops. Okay, because the picture doesn't
Can't
like
believe
click in my brain. But yeah, this one I
But
would
I
not
think
have
this
top
had an
50.
American remake too, didn't it? Did this
Maybe
not have an
that.
American remake as well?
Maybe that's what I saw. Because this picture doesn't come to mind. I don't know. I don't know. I am.
it should be further back with Train to Busan. It's good though,
Yeah. I don't
but
know.
it's not like
Top 50
high.
good.
No.
Yeah, but which was better, Raw or that episode of Always Sunny where they think they're eating human flesh?
I've not seen that.
1931's Frankenstein is at number 28.
Classic.
I'm surprised it's not higher. I love Frankenstein. Fuck Universal. But
We got we got to move on. Yeah, yeah.
what else can you say about
It's a
Frankenstein?
it's a franchise.
Oh my
Yeah.
lord, another Cronenberg. Oh my god, I don't know how to work a mouse. There we go. The Brood, 1979, number 27. Love The Brood. He was going through a divorce at the time, and it reflects very much in the story he created for this movie.
Nice.
uh,
Yeah.
To watch it.
Not not a story came up out of love in your heart for a woman.
and then watch The Brood, and then go watch any Brandon Cronenberg movie, and you're like, huh. So The Brood was about Brandon Cronenberg in a custody battle, and then now I'm watching this, and it's like, makes some sense. I'm surprised it's that high. I wouldn't put it above The Fly, honestly, but that's me. Deep Red, 1975, at number 26. I don't know what this is.
It is good. It's Italian.
Oh,
Or it's not. I don't. It should be 26 though. It is good though,
the
but
visual there is
not
cool.
that high.
Dave,
Further back.
have you seen Deep Red?
Yes.
No opinions. No comments you wanna.
It's good. It's got some really freaky scenes, and it's a twist. It's a M Night Shyamalan level
Oh,
twist. Maybe not really.
Not
The killer
really.
is
No.
just not who you expect. But eh,
next up, 25, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I know of this, but I
but
have
here
never
it
watched it.
is Argento.
What?
Not this. The last
Oh,
one.
Oh yeah, that. I think I froze again. I think I froze again.
oh,
Yeah.
Or you?
I didn't
What you
know
should
how to
watch
reply.
is what is there's a TV show that talks about the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. I cannot think of this show though.
This has
It's a
a
sketch
Uh,
show.
this has a lot of odd sets.
it's that
Portlandia.
German.
I think
There's a
I've seen
Portlandia
that.
episode
I think yes.
where the mailman shows up and he's like, "Oh, you gotta watch the Cabinet of Caligari," and as soon as she watches it, she has to become the mailman. but
Portlandia.
the movie is very good though. The movie is very
Dave, thoughts on Caligari?
good.
Ahead of its time. 30s German expressionism, and it's way
20s.
ahead of its time.
20s.
20s. It's
20s
even
even.
it's 10 years earlier ahead of
See?
its time than I thought.
Yeah. Peeping Tom, number 24 from 1960.
Yeah.
Jeff's there for it. Tell us
Oh,
why or
I
why
think
not?
I saw that for the TCM Underground when Rob Zombie was hosting it.
Oh,
It is
interesting.
it it is it is very good. It's one of those just like before its time kind of movies, you know. very controversial for its time. It is good though.
And you feel cool with it being 24 this high?
I don't think it should be that high. I mean, for its time, maybe, but I mean, as like top 101, it may be further back. I mean, it's very, very good though.
But worth checking out. A big recommend.
I recommend it. Yeah.
Next up, number 23, The Thing, the Carpenter
Oh,
remake from 1982. Absolutely.
from the thing from another world,
I'm there for this one.
which is
23 seems
very
good.
Cronenbergy.
So great,
Another,
such a good paranoia movie.
Yes.
So
wow, Night of the Living Dead, 1968, Romero, at number 22.
I'd like to think it's at 22 because of episode 1 of the horror.
We did our best.
We did it. We did it. We moved this up to 22.
Both of those are good episodes.
That the first one we were like so like and in this scene and then in the next scene and then the next scene it
Yeah.
was like so and then we just went off the rails at some point and I just prefer to be off the rails. Alien, 1979, Ridley Scott, number 21.
Very good
Again,
horror.
more claustrophobia, space horror, uh, iconic monster.
Did you hear
Yes.
Aliens versus Avengers, Dave? Comic is coming this summer. That was in our horror
Okay,
news.
I did not hear that, but I like it. I like it. I've been watching the trailer for Romulus, and
Therefore,
I got yeah, I got some thoughts like the face huggers jumping through glass and is like we've seen them before and they're not that strong. But
pussy glass,
maybe it's different glass. Yeah, maybe it's not real.
sugar glass.
You know, they make a remake and then, they just up the ante
Yeah.
for a sequel or a prequel. It's like, wait, why are they stronger in the prequel than they are in the original?
But no prequels here. We got the OG at number 20,
Oh,
1931, Dr. Acula. Or Dracula, depending on what side of the country you come from. Absolutely.
what
It's the children
typecasted?
of the night.
I don't really have a lot to say. Jeff, how do you thoughts?
I mean, just what typecasted Bela Lugosi as a horror icon. That's why he couldn't, get any other good. Even though he's not a bad actor, it's just that he got typecasted in horror
Yeah.
films, and Ed Wood picked him up. And there's no Ed Wood movies on here though. What's up with that?
They could have snuck on one Ed Wood movie. Get rid of one of those 70 ones. Like, what was that one God told me to? That you were like, that's
Yeah.
not. Yeah, get rid of that. Give us an Ed Wood. The Wicker Man, 1973. The Bees
OG.
at
Yeah,
number
but
19.
this is another one you could get rid of for me.
I,
Get it off the list. I'm
The
not a
Nicolas
fan.
Cage one, that's fine, but the original one was so good with Christopher Lee. I mean,
is that Christopher Lee?
yeah, it's Christopher Lee right
I
there.
didn't realize he was. I was as you said that. I'm like, that does look like Christopher Lee in like a fucking punk wig with. That
Yes.
is. I didn't realize that
The
was
original
Christopher
is
Lee.
so much better than Nicolas Cage one, but
I've not watched either one of them. I just know of the bees scene. Okay,
yeah,
you've sold me on the Wicker Man. I'm gonna have to
yeah,
watch it since Christopher Lee's in it. Dave is
yeah,
like,
Christopher
you ain't
Lee.
watching it on this show.
Not 19, not 19, but it should be in the top 101. It is good.
Yeah, I feel like stature wise and reputation wise, it deserves to be on here. 19 seems
Yeah,
a little high. What little I know about it.
right. It's not 19 good, but it should be further down the list. But
At number 18, we've got 1964's Quick Boy,
Why
no
Dan?
idea.
Quaidan, Quail Dog. I don't know what this
It
is.
just means ghost story.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So have you watched this?
I have not. I know it is on Shudder. I've said that several times, but like, oh, that's on
Oh,
Shudder. Oh, this other movie I've watched 10 times, but it's really good is on. I'll watch it.
yeah. At number
Sorry.
17, 1922's Nosferatu. Uh,
Max Shrek.
yeah,
That's not
what a performance. Like just looking at a still image of him is enough to capture what he was doing, which is crazy. I don't know how that works.
unsettling.
And then what was
So,
the movie? Didn't they make a movie where like Shadow of the Vampire or something where he was
yeah,
supposedly actually was a vampire
where he
and
was.
yeah, with
Willem Dafoe
I think, yeah, no, yeah, I
I
think
think so.
maybe we'll.
or Malkovich
Yes, Malkovich.
and
It's good. It's
And
like a
Willem
more like, oh, this is a what how they were filming it when they were making that movie. Like
yeah.
Max Shrek was really like a vampire and stuff. It is good though.
And then we're getting ready to get a Eggers remake, whatever it will be, uh, in the next couple years. So we'll see. We'll see. The Devil Rides Out, 1968, at number
another
16.
another Hammer horror movie, but
With
I have
Christopher
not seen
Lee.
this.
I have seen it. It is should not be 16.
When
It,
Jeff is
it
criticizing your list, you know you fucked up.
Judging
it's
by your
not like
tone, it
the
may be
greatest horror movie ever, but I
116.
mean, Christopher Lee's in it, so I mean,
That may be what got it where it's at.
I'm
Somebody's
fine with it being there if that's where they want to put it.
number 15, 1935, The Bride of Frankenstein. I think this. I go back and forth. Sometimes I like Bride more than the original. Sometimes I'm not sure where I sit right now, but uh,
I don't know.
Sometimes
The
Abbott
original
and
is better.
Costello.
but the I no
They could put them next to each other at least.
yeah, I think this just leads into put the franchises together, and then you're not taking spots from things that could be on here. But 15. Oh, number 14, American Werewolf in London, 1981. We just talked about this. What a transformation
Okay,
scene.
Big fan, big fan.
My
the best
sister
transmission ever.
had me watch this with her when I was way too young to even be watching something off of like Nick Jr., whatever the Nick Jr. equivalent was of like 1986. And
And
another another reason
rumor
I'm
has
here today.
rumor has it John Landis filmed an entire adult movie so
Oh,
that they could have an adult movie in the side scenes of this movie. The See You Next Tuesday.
What? That's crazy.
next up. Okay, number 13. 1968's Rosemary's Baby.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I do like this. I do like this very much.
This I remember watching this the first time and not like being like into horror, but like not really like slow burn horror. And this is like one of the most slow burns you could get, at least for a good long time. And then, but then you get the big reveal at the end, and it's like, holy shit!
There's a Spanish cartoon on HBO Max that's basically a continuation of Rosemary's Baby.
Really?
It
Wow.
just it starts off like the very beginning. It has an old lady going, "Hey, Satan!" It's like, wait, what? It's like, and it just continues on from there. Like the kid grows up, and he just becomes like this, a big disappointment to Satan that he's not like as
He's
That's
like an
amazing.
as
account.
scary as it's supposed to be.
He's an
Uh,
account for a Bran Flakes cereal brand.
he gets
Right.
shit on by his cubicle neighbor all the time. Night number 12, 1999 is The Blair Witch Project.
Oh,
Jeff disagrees. I think it's a little high.
Yeah.
no. Me and my dad watched this one together. We rented it, and we were like, this is horrible. My sister saw it in the theaters, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's so scary." And then we rented the movie. I was like, "No, it's
Oh,
not good."
It's
But
creepy. It has creepy vibes. I not necessarily think it's over the top
it
scary,
it is
but it
not
no,
top
it
20.
it it does not belong here. It definitely belongs on the list.
Quarantine was better than this.
It single-handedly revived found footage.
What was found footage
And a
before
whole
this?
gen
The like
There was
McPherson
fan
tapes,
footage, but there was
the
a
UFO
whole
thing.
generation of people thought this was real. So
Yeah.
just for that, it belongs top
The
50.
marketing, if you ever watch that Sci-Fi Channel documentary on it, that's almost a better movie than this is. Because it just but I think it
Yeah,
absolutely deserves to be on the list. I don't agree with number 12. Um,
No, I
yeah,
agree with
which is
James,
better.
though. A lot of people thought it was real because my sister was like, "Oh, is this real?" Like, no, no, it's not. It's a
yeah,
movie. It's in theaters.
I
No
Which
one's gonna
was
put
which is
found
better,
footage
the
in
original
theaters.
or the sequel?
that's the original
I really like the sequel.
Book of
Was it
Shadows.
the Book of Shadows?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep, yep.
I was it's like my first year of driving, so I was like around 16 somewhere. Because I remember the day it came out on VHS, I went to town to buy it because like all the girls in my class were like, "Oh my god, it's real!" I knew somebody that knew their cousin that died in that. Yeah, it was like that kind of thing at the time. And I'm like, "Well, I have to see it," so I went and got it like that day. And I was certainly creeped out by it, but I'm like, this is not real,
Yeah,
right? This right right.
I was disappointed in the movie
Number
for
11,
as it was.
yeah, The Shining, Stanley Kubrick,
Yeah.
1980. This is Dave. This is your
Stephen
jam,
King.
This is my jam right here.
not Stephen
It's
King's
so
jam though.
not Stephen
No,
King's jam. I do
he
think he's come around on it,
yeah,
as
he's
evidenced
Yeah,
by
progressive.
Doctor Sleep.
yeah.
So,
Have you have you seen the TV movie version of it? He likes better, which I feel like the Kubrick version's so much better than the TV version of it
I
was, but
watched it at the time when it aired, and
yeah,
even then it seemed cheap and outdated.
yeah.
There were some
but
cool things about it,
it's got
but
the guy from Wings.
yeah.
But it's got the guy
Yeah,
from Wings.
it was the
Stephen
guy from
Weber.
Wings.
Stephen Weber. He
Yeah.
does some narration for the audiobooks for Stephen King, which
I
I
like
don't.
Steven
Okay.
Weber, but not a
Yeah,
good
he wasn't the Jack Nicholson they needed.
no. Doctor Sleep wasn't bad.
I still haven't
You seen
Doctor
watched
Doctor
Sleep
all of
was
Sleep,
it.
the
really good.
prequel?
I really
But
like
yeah, The
Doctor Sleep.
Shining definitely good.
Yeah, the Shining outshines all,
Everything.
but yeah. Um, anything? There's not really much to say about it. I mean, 11, higher or lower? What do you think?
Oh, I think it's good where it's at. It is
I I I would move it up. For me, The Shining is a top 5 horror.
mm,
Fair enough.
I
I,
agree with that.
we're in the top 10, boys and girls, and number 10. Talking about that recency bias. Is it recency bias or is it that good? I don't know. Hereditary, 2018. Ari Aster.
If you're judging by how much we've talked about a movie without doing that movie, Hereditary is a top 5.
Have we not done Hereditary?
I have we?
I
Did we
thought
do
you did.
Hereditary? Okay, okay, I stand corrected if we
I
did,
don't
but
know. I don't
Maybe I
know.
just heard you guys talk about it so much, but I
Hold,
thought you guys
I
had
feel
done
like
Fred.
hold
I
on.
feel like we have talked about it 1,000 times.
I literally
Maybe
have a
that's what it
list I
is.
can look at. Hold on. Let me see.
Okay, okay.
We need to
Uh,
Pull that
create a
control F out.
Wikipedia page of all the horror movies you guys done.
let me see. I need anybody good with databases, let me know so I can get one going. That way we can like search based on title and year and stuff would be really great. And I don't think we've done it. We've just talked about it a lot. You know what we
We have
probably did? We probably saw it and then talked about it for like 10 minutes at the beginning of an episode
Probably.
and then thought
I
we've done
I
one.
I
But
feel like we've talked about it multiple episodes.
yeah. Uh,
Gross, Chris.
top 10. Oh shit, I ain't.
How long you gonna keep that finger up there, Chris? Okay, there you go.
My 1950s superhero.
You're making a point.
Well, fellows, is top 10 where Hereditary belongs.
It is
Definitely.
good.
I'd give
Got
top
Gabriel
20.
Byrne in it though.
I'd go top 20. I don't know. 10? I don't know.
Gabriel Byrne. I mean, yeah,
You got
All the actors I'm
actors in
there
it
for.
good.
Yeah. Um,
tell me 19 movies better.
we'll have to come back to it. Number 9, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Toby
Yeah,
Hooper, 1974. Absolutely. Uh, I'd say top 5 for me,
yeah.
but I'll go absolutely number 9.
It's hard to argue anything that's if it's top 10 or top 5, like that's all the
Yeah.
same because my ratings vary based on my mood sometimes.
Yeah.
But tech, but the OG Massacre is always in on it. The the gore without the blood because it's all like your mind comes. And the most vicious thing when the dude stumbles into the door and he slides open the door and just clocks him with the pig squeal.
The door slamming.
Oh my god,
The
so fucking
The ending of it was great though. He just flinging the chainsaw around,
yeah.
like he's all mad.
Eh,
and that dickhead in the wheelchair, and they have no mercy on him. I love
Franklin.
it.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I will not call him by his name. I refuse.
Dickhead
He's
in
a
the
he's
wheelchair.
yes.
And this is the second movie I think that was based off of Ed
Ed Gein.
Gein, serial
Yeah.
killer.
What was what else was based on him? That the
Psycho
Oh, was that?
and
Oh,
Deranged. Have you seen Deranged? It's
I'm
really
not
weird.
I'm
It's
not
not
familiar with
that
that one.
great. Psycho was
Not
also
my
based off Ed Gein.
deranged. Why did they make a movie about my ex girlfriend?
Da, 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 ba, da, da. That's what we need a soundboard for. What we don't need a refresher on is Dawn of the Dead, 1978, the next Romero movie.
Whoop,
Uh,
whoop.
I think another one that I would put in my top 5, maybe. I don't my top 5, top 10 of your own list is sketchy. I'd have to sit
Yeah.
down and science some shit, but for the
Okay,
Rolling Stone
where
list,
does
I'm surprised.
Dawn of the Dead, Return of the Living Dead, which is going to be on, higher on your list?
Right now, or before I learned about all the child diddling from Brian Peck a month ago.
Okay, that
I
is
think
not
I'd still. I think I would. Shit, I don't know.
You gotta remove the people from the movie.
Yeah,
The movie's gotta be its
when it's
thing.
when it's over 30 years old, like the history of those people in the future, like can't apply to that.
Yeah.
You gotta. It's. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm cool with Dawn of the Dead being number 8. I'd maybe go a little higher, but how you guys feel?
I'm with you. I'm with
Very
you.
good. I like it.
Could
What
this be
Dawn?
a franchise line? Dawn, Day.
Absolutely, yeah.
Um, so,
Could this beat Dawn of the Dead? Get Out, which
No.
we just talked about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Um,
Yeah.
I
Think
little,
Us is a better movie than Get Out. I do like Get Out though. It
I
should
agree.
be
I don't know that
somewhere in there.
it's not my top
Not
10.
number 7.
Yeah,
Us should be number 7.
I feel like top
I do
20
not
for me
have it.
personally is pushing it, but I would hear out top 20 before I'd hear out
Yeah.
top 10.
I would probably move it a little bit lower than even 20. So because I could sit
Our
here and name you 20 movies that go come on the list before it. So
Yeah.
Inside from 2007. What the fuck is this? Number 6. I don't know what this movie is off the top of my
No
head.
idea.
I don't think. I think if three guys whose Jeff
Uh,
has the more of the retro. I'm
Yeah.
like a modern retro. If
Yeah,
and then Dave has got a
somewhere
hand
in
in,
between.
yeah, like, and we don't know what this is. It's not a top. It's not a number six. It's not.
it
No.
does not belong here.
Sorry, not
I
sorry. That is not a number
if
six movie.
we should just establish some ground rules at the start. If the 3 of us have never seen it, none of us have seen it, it doesn't go on the 101.
Well, it certainly doesn't go in the top 10,
No.
but this one does. I would say number
Yes.
5. We're in the top 5 now. Halloween, Carpenter, 1978, Jamie Lee Curtis. Woo! Is it getting hot in here, or is it just Halloween? I love the first Halloween. This is one of the ones that they could have stopped with every sequel. I didn't need to see him.
Yeah.
Left it at this. Although we wouldn't have got Stud
Right.
Atkins, I'm okay because this movie's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, where's Halloween 3 at? I need some Halloween 3 on my top 101 list. So,
That's why we needed the franchises. We should make our own list. We're gonna have to make our
I
own.
Yeah.
could I could do without Halloween 2. Halloween 1 is where it's at.
Yeah, Halloween one is every year. Every year I watch it. Every single year.
Donald Pleasance, man.
You don't even have to search it out. Like,
Yeah,
if once a year it is forced upon you and you take it
it's
willingly.
it's it's not even forced. It's welcomed.
Yeah.
Number 4. Don't look now. Don't worry, because I don't know what it is.
I don't either. It's got Donald Sutherland in it, and I want to watch it, but I can't find it anywhere. So
Dave, have you seen this?
I have not, so,
What is this top
pick
10
it
right
out here.
now? It started off so strong, and then
I've read some reviews of it, and it's supposed to be really good, but I've not seen it.
we will have to check it out. Top 3 now. The Ring, 1998.
Eh,
I don't know that that's top 3, brother. I don't
no,
know
No,
that that's top 3. Some people may be creeped out on it. There may be a whole generation of millennials that love The Ring.
maybe when it came out, but not.
It is not a top 3.
I would put it fairly high on the list because
Uh,
it really is good, but
I,
it's not
I give
top 10, it's not top 20. It might be
At most I'll give you a
I'm
30.
generous. If I'm being generous, it's coming in the 20s.
I could even be talked into the 20s if you like gave me a good consolation prize. Like David Cronenberg's Fast Company is in the top 80. Here we are,
Naked
number 2.
Naked Lunch in the top 10.
Now we're talking
Psycho.
Yes,
1960 Psycho.
so good. I mean,
Um, that doesn't look like Vince Vaughn.
I hope not.
Very, very nice.
It's so good that I mean, Hitchcock could show you nothing, and your mind thinks that it saw everything.
Yeah.
That's what's so great about the original
And
Psycho.
is this the first, at least horror movie maybe, that had the late sequel where Psycho 2 came out in the, I don't know what year in the 80s? But I mean that's 20 something years after the fact, which is something we're kind of getting used to now with these late sequels. Uh if it wasn't the first
There's
one, it's one of the first ones to do it.
there's 4 movies of it,
83.
and
23 years later. That's amazing.
yeah,
I
at
mean,
least Anthony Perkins stayed with all the movies.
I I would be I would be interested to check out the whole franchise because I've never watched the sequels.
I have. The second one is basically he gets out of the asylum and he's fine now, and it's someone else is doing all
Right.
the
I think
stuff. And then like the third one, I don't remember. And then the fourth one, he's like getting married, and then I think he's having a baby.
He,
they had great
is he on the
VHS
phone
covers.
to the radio people or a therapist or something like that on the last one, didn't he? It's like,
Yes,
I don't
yes,
want to
that's
do it, but
he
I
was
can't let
calling
this
in to
baby
an
be born.
online radio
Yeah.
host,
Mm.
and he was just like, "Oh, I think I'm gonna kill again," and they're
Most of
trying
the
to talk
movie is
him
like
down.
flashbacks to his childhood and his
Yeah.
teen years and kind of what turned him into what he became.
All right, we were ready for the last one. We've went through all of them. I thought we would stop at about 50. But here we are. The number one. I got to load more for the last one, you dickheads. Is this website provided by Universal?
I think so.
The Exorcist is the number
The
one.
Exorcist.
1973.
Definitely, I think we have talked about our top tens and our top five lists before, and I usually do put The Exorcist up there. I could probably be talked to move it down from one though. I mean it's definitely top 10.
I would go top. I would go top five. I would have to really think about if it's my number one.
Right.
But I'm not against it. I'll say that much.
Just finding out information that, the actress who did all the voice for Linda Blair, and what she went through to portray the demon and stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
I the
Zuzu, it's remarkable. It's definitely one of the top 5.
the Jackie was talking to me the last time I saw her, and she's like, "We watched The Exorcist," and I thought it was really boring. That was she didn't say it quite in those words, but her reaction was like, eh. I'm like, well, this generation certainly is not into that kind of a slow burn. Or maybe
Right.
maybe it's just too old. It just doesn't look like something that they would want to watch. It's hard telling, but like
When it came out, it was apparently scary as hell, so
I well into the 90s, I was absolutely on board with it being the scariest thing in the world.
The flashes of Pazuzu's face, and he shows up like in the vent hood of an oven one time, and
Yeah.
some of that stuff is just meant to like just maybe you don't even notice it, but it just fucks with you. So
Yeah, the subliminal kind of stuff, which I may be wrong, but I think they added that into the what was it, like the director's cut in the after and the original. I don't know that they're there.
uh, I think in the director's cut, they did a spider
And the
walk where she
spider
bent
walk,
over backwards.
yeah,
Was it in the original?
yeah, which is also I think it's cool. Some other people on the internet aren't into it,
Yeah.
but we've not done an episode on The Exorcist itself. We did Exorcist 3, which is a great movie. I think it's great.
Right.
Uh,
one with the
Another
jump
thing,
scares.
the they should have included franchises to kind of alleviate like certain things not being on it. Um, but uh, I'm cool with it being number one. I don't know that it would be my number one. It may be. I don't know. Uh, but let's get down to it. Is there anything that wasn't on this list that you guys think should have been on this list?
I got a
I
list.
I got a list. I divided my list into two lists. One for things that were just left off, and one things for things that probably go on the list that came out after this list came out.
I
So I
thought
did
about
kind
that. We talked about
of
that before you got on, and I couldn't come up with a good thing from 2022 till now that should be on it. So
Barbarian,
I knew you would have something. What was it?
Barbarian with B scars, where he gets
Ricky Tikki
killed
Tavi?
by Mama Ricky Tikki Tavi. Uh, I you could put Nope on it for me. If you don't put Nope on it, that's okay. I could put Nope on it,
Not a
but
lot of UFO
2020
stuff
not a
on the
lot of UFO
list.
stuff.
Yeah. Not a lot of aliens.
2022 fresh with Winter Soldier. Have you seen that?
It doesn't even ring a bell to me.
He abducts this girl, and he's very polite and nice, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna harvest your meat,"
Oh,
so don't be a bitch about it. Uh,
uh,
I
intriguing.
So I kind of, to refresh my memory, Googled best movies 2022, best horror movies 2023.
Mhm.
2023, No One Will Save You. And I could see that making the list, get some of that. You don't think so? You don't think so? Okay.
I did not. No, there's so much I'd put it in front of that, especially UFO speaking.
Okay.
But there,
And then
that may be me. That may just be me. This is
Event
democracy.
Horizon. Event Horizon. What is that, a UFO movie? It's in space. I don't know.
Sci-fi horror. We'll give it sci-fi. There
Yeah,
wasn't a lot of sci-fi horror, and
right. That Horizon definitely good.
And no
yeah,
Cameo.
and no Skinamarink. No Skinamarink came out after this. So
Hellraiser. How you feel about Hellraiser?
That should have been
I
on
I,
there.
I feel like the first
I
one.
put I put Hellraiser on my list, and there you go. French fries. You just put the French fries. Um, that way, because you don't want to lose out on Hellraiser Revelation or Hellraiser Bloodlines.
That's you're not wrong. What other ones did you have for current?
Jeff, why don't you give us a couple years? I've been rambling for a minute.
Oh, I mean, for current, the only one I can really think of was Smile. I thought was really good. I've got a lot of older stuff or stuff that's down the line in years, not current. It's the Killer. ICH. I'm not sure. It's
Itchy the
Asian.
Killer. Yeah,
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 that was good. The Host. Korean horror film. Very good. Doctor Terror's House of Horrors was an anthology movie that had Donald Sutherland in it, some other people. I thought that was really good. Fallen with Denzel Washington.
that was a cool one. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Uh, we talked about I
Is
Spit
on
on Your
my side.
Grave. Barbarian Sound Studio, I thought was really good. The Omen with Gregory Peck and
I'm surprised that wasn't on here. Oh wow.
right.
Yeah,
What I thought too. I thought, wow, not even that.
yeah.
I know we talked about The Crow the other week. I thought that should have been up there at least. Um, uh, Spielberg's The Duel, not The Duel, but Duel,
I could see
where
that. Yeah,
that was good. Invisible Man was a classic that wasn't on the list.
yeah,
Uh, Definitely one of my favorite Stephen King movies, Misery, was not on the list.
yeah. I would.
Kathy Bates, James Caan, it's just an incredible movie.
That is absolutely agree.
One of my favorite camp movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yes, yes.
Let's Scare Jessica to Death. I thought that was.
I don't know of the. I know of the title.
I think I just liked the title, but
That's
I thought the movie was pretty good. Uh, Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane with Martin Sheen and from Silence of the Lambs, Jodie Foster was in
mm,
that.
I'm not
Young
familiar with
Jodie
that one.
Foster. I think that was like a movie after Taxi.
Okay,
So she was still pretty young in that one. Alice Sweet Alice with Brooke Shields.
okay,
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow with Charles Durning. Very good. Kind of like Jason kind of movie, where they kill someone and then he comes back as something else
okay,
and gets his revenge. The Old Dark House was a good old 1930s. Has a lot of good act, like Charles Lofton in it. It's kind of like combination of comedy and horror.
okay.
Uh, Parents,
With
you seen that one?
Quaid.
Yeah, Randy Quaid, not Dennis.
I could go with that. I could go with that.
Reanimator wasn't on there. I thought Reanimator would have been pretty good.
Reanimator could absolutely have been a.
Yeah, Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon. I thought was pretty good. And Dress to Kill
Nancy Allen.
with Nancy Allen. Yeah,
Nancy Cartwright.
And, what's his name was in it? Yeah. Those were
Chris
mine, I
doesn't
thought
hardly.
were pretty good that didn't make the list either.
You know what I think it was missing was some more, like, it kind of skipped over the 90s for horror. Like, we had Scream, but there wasn't a whole lot other than Scream for the
Yeah,
90s. I don't know what I would necessarily put in there.
Faculty, disturbing behavior, urban legends. One of those could have
A little,
snuck on
it
here.
needed a little bit more 90s, I feel like.
Idle hands.
Idle Hands. I'm kind of surprised The Lost Boys wasn't on there.
yeah,
Because, I mean, goddamn, the fandom for Lost Boys ain't a joke. Um,
right?
but I don't know. I feel like it hit a lot of my favorites, at least, if not my particular favorite of a franchise, at least it got the first one. So, I was really surprised that some of the deep cuts that the list got. But Dave, any final thoughts? It's looking
I
awful dark in West Virginia.
It is awfully dark in West Virginia. Um, so I did some quick math. I might be wrong. Zero Chucky, zero
Oh,
Child's Play.
yeah.
But you've got all the other
Damn.
80s slashers and no Child's Play,
Here's the G
no Shocker.
Fuel Nightmare on Elm Street cup, by the way. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see the.
nice.
It's a pain in the ass. It's kind of a piece of shit.
But there are 14
But it looks cool.
movies that the Horror House podcast has reviewed on this list.
Just 14?
Just 14. So we got some work to
Damn.
do, boys.
I was surprised at the Cronenberg. I mean, not the Fly. I was surprised at the Brood, I should say. That is not what I'd have put Videodrome. Videodrome would have been
Yeah.
top 10, maybe for me personally top 5. But
Oh, definitely. I love Videodrome.
uh,
So good.
but
Kind of
Cron-
surprised
Cronenberg was
Titane's
over.
not on here.
But we may end up pulling some movies from this list to watch later. There were several that none of us have seen. That were even in the top 10, which is bonkers.
Right.
That one of the three of us hadn't seen it. But anyways, I am surprised and proud that we made it through that list. Dave, are you frozen? No, I saw your eyes move.
I think I was momentarily.
uh, as the words come out of my mouth, I saw your eyes move that way.
Yeah,
I'm
he
like, oh.
was.
They shut the Wi-Fi off at 11 o'clock here
Oh
in West
shit.
Virginia.
Okay, we're gonna have to wind down. I don't know what we're watching. I don't even know whose pick it is for next week.
I
Jeff.
believe it is Jeff. Yep.
So, but we'll be back next Thursday. Our YouTube channel may not be standing because thanks Universal. Thanks.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous, Universal. Is this where you want to be when Jesus comes back?
Copyrighting channels that get the views we get. Give us a break.
Those motherfuckers got 19 views. Shut them
Yeah, shut them down. Get the lid on them. They know secrets.
Had more views than 19.
But we made it. We made it through the whole damn list. And I think that does it. Final words, fellas, before we sign off. Actually, while you say that, let's get our names one last time and get those new social medias one more time. We got Jeff on there now, so if you wanna talk to any of us, go to those places and you can do
That
that.
was the one.
Yeah, we've been doing Horror House for like 5 or 6 years. Nobody's ever messaged me on Twitter, been like, "I'm following you now because of your thing," but we still do it because you never know. But
Uh,
I think that's it. Dave,
All right.
if you see a Mothman, pull the dime out of his ass next time.
I'm going to be watching. We're going back. We're going to the museum in the morning.
He was giving you a little something to remember him by, and you didn't take it. You've offended the Mothman.
Hold on, I think he's outside the window right now.